Everybody is working for the weekend. All right, then. It is 5:46. I'm Danny Bonaduce. This is KZOK. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for asking, Paul. How are you?
Fantastic, thanks.
How was your weekend?
It was great.
Did you do anything fun?
Sunshine. Yeah, just got out a lot. Just went out and got in the sun. Went in a pool for a little bit. That was fun.
You have a pool?
It's like a pretty small pool, like a little inflatable. They say it's a family-sized pool. It's about 8 foot long, but it's like 1.5 feet deep. It's barely an upgrade from your normal plastic kiddie pool.
When was the last time you were in a pool and actually swam all around?
It's been a while.
Yeah,
for
me
sure,
too.
yeah.
I get in pools, I go, I'm good. Yeah, don't bother me.
That's true. Just getting in and getting cooled off is what's important.
Kids, you okay?
Doing well.
Awesome.
All right, it's all good then. So, it's just such. My world has been getting weirder and weirder and weirder.
How's that possible?
Lately. I know. Well, actually, if you think about it, when you hear about my crazy life, it's sometimes 2 decades old.
Yeah.
The story. My life, to be honest with you, I work here. I walk Green Lake. I watch TV, and I try and learn how to play guitar, and that's kind of like it. Nothing really. Oh, I'm sad, man. Nothing really.
No, that was all exciting. Those were all exciting things.
Yeah. All right, I feel better. Thank you. But this is the last little while since my friend David Cassidy passed. I've been doing a lot of Cassidy World that I didn't do before he passed away. He wasn't that busy. I'm like real sedentary, if you will. I'm in Seattle. I do this radio show, watch TV, walk Green Lake. I'm good. But I got very involved with his family, which is very nice because I knew them all when they were little children. Like Sean Cassidy, I've known him since he was 8. So anyway, let me get to this. So I go to Los Angeles. I leave 20 minutes early from the show to get to the airport to catch an 11 o'clock flight. Oh, God, it's panic. What are we going to do? How are we going to get there? I had all the time in the world.
Oh, yeah.
It takes apparently 20 minutes if there's no traffic, but you can't count on no traffic.
And you don't know how long the TSA lines are going to be.
Right.
Like, lately in the news, it's been horror stories.
And actually, they weren't great. There was the pre-check thing was not worlds better than the other thing.
Yeah.
But so you can't make it so, well, there's no traffic. It's 20 minutes. I'm going to wait 20 minutes. You can't do that. You've got to assume there's going to be some traffic. So we get to the airport. We get in. We sit around. We play a game of cards or whatever we do. We get to Los Angeles. Now, this is where we start running, man. If this were a movie, there'd be a clock ticking away in the bottom right-hand corner.
Yeah.
Oh, I do a good clock.
That was great.
Yeah, thank you. I got to get to my son's school, Dante's school. What the hell time was the meeting? 4, 3, something, late afternoon.
Okay.
And I got to get to his meeting by that, and it's rough. Everything's tight.
Because you're definitely going to have traffic down there, right? No matter what.
Well, yeah. I was going to say, because I was on time. I made it. My son's been having some really hard times, and here's something I was told was, Dante's troubles are not fodder for your radio show. Meaning either somebody's telling her when I talk about her or Sheila's, whatever it is. But I looked right at her and I said, no, you're wrong. My son's weird problems are totally fodder for my radio show. Why would I have a son if I couldn't talk about his drama? And nobody thinks I'm as funny as I think I am. So Dante, I won't get into all of it because but it was big in my estimation. It was real trouble. I was in a way kind of proud of him. Nobody got hurt, but he doesn't have much of an edge to him. You know what I mean? He and his Dungeons and Dragons friends, and it's nice and it's sweet, and I love him, and everything's fine. I wouldn't say, oh, go be a hassle. But when he started being a hassle and called the cops on himself so they'd show up in the house, by the way, I get it. Fodder for my radio show if you're listening right now. Kind of interesting way to go.
Sure.
So I felt that the school they're acting like, oh, boys will be boys. And I thought, no, this was a relatively big deal. Something that's, everybody was talking about boarding school. Yeah. And I think that'd be the best thing for them.
So I do think there should be punishment.
Well, the way boarding school is punishment. The ones I'm talking about. Yeah.
Right, but the school's saying no punishment, and you're saying there needs to be something.
Well, here's the thing, and I will be honest with you. I didn't say much because here's what happens. Look at me, Paul, and say, you shouldn't have. No, never mind. I'll just do it myself. Just what happens is I don't get a vote, and it makes me feel bad, and they're kind of right. If I say, hey, this is crazy, she says, well, maybe you should have stayed in town and raised him. Now, that's not true. I mean, I guess it's true if it was a great, fascinating world, but the court ordered her to get $16,000 a month, and I had no job.
Yeah, you don't get to choose.
I don't get to choose
where to make that income.
how I can make all that money, and by the way, then give it to you, a person I don't like. And I said that to her. I said, I'm sorry this is happening, and I don't even like you. She didn't get that was a huge compliment. So I did all that with Dante's school, and it did not go the way I wanted, and I don't know that it's all going to blow over into nothing. It shouldn't. But he's getting close to being an adult. But she'll never kick him out. He can live there forever. So then, Patrick Cassidy, David Cassidy's younger brother, is having this event that he invited me to 2 months ago. I told him I can't. I'll be in Seattle. I'm working on the radio. Now I'm in town. The curtain is at 8 o'clock. I'm in downtown Los Angeles. It's about 5:30. This can't possibly be made. Let's try. Let's go in and out of traffic because more Cassidys need my attention.
I can hear the clock ticking.
Can you see that? I'm going.
Yeah.
Thank you. I forgot about my clock. My clock's going crazy. Although it's not really ticking. I didn't describe it well. It's rolling over like that. You know what I mean? So anyway, I made it. I went to Thousand Oaks, California, which I understand it's 51 miles from where we were, and we made it. I don't know how we made it.
Wow.
I didn't even drive that crazy. I just took a freeway I had normally taken. And Patrick Cassidy is doing a thing with David Cassidy's little brother, Sean Cassidy's little brother, and he's Ryan's big brother. He's doing a thing called Just Another Family Tree. And it's a one-man show that brings him to sing all sorts of different Broadway shows. And I had no idea he could sing like this. He really, I thought it was kind of a made-up thing. But no, he's a real live Broadway star.
Wow.
And this was good. And he's saying, that's it. He goes, and that's when this guy came into the picture. And he points at a wall, and a picture of David Cassidy shows up. And he goes, let me tell you what it's like to grow up with David Cassidy as your big brother. And then he does Shirley Jones, and he shows her Academy Award. It was very cool. And that was fairly nice.
And it's all about his own family tree?
Yeah, that is exactly
cool.
what it's like. What it is, and he says, one of the opening lines is, you're sitting around the dinner table, and everybody is not only in show business, but really successful show business.
Yeah.
She goes, to the right of the lady with the Academy Award is the guy with 2 Tony Awards. And that guy, next to that guy is 5 gold records, and that guy next to that guy is 6 platinum records. I'm going, wow, that's kind of weird. I mean, my family's kind of weird, but that's super whammy weird. And he said the smartest Cassidy of all is Ryan, because he stayed out of all of this stuff and has been a set decorator for the last 30 years. Wow. And he did the set tonight. And everybody goes, wow, Ryan Cassidy set must be amazing. Does anybody know the Van Pattens, aside from the dad, Dick Van Patten?
Dick Van Patten.
The kids were Vince Van Patten used to be, Vince was I think, I may want to look this up, was a professional tennis player and then moved over to being a professional gambler now and is married to my wife's, oh my God, Amy went hysterical. The Real Housewives of Los Angeles or whatever.
Yeah.
Amy went crazy and asked me, please take a picture of me and put your hands way up in the air because that's a way better angle on women. And they're right, the chicks cared. So it was all in all, and that's not all of it. Real quick, I'll say this. I got on a plane to come home. There was an old lady, and I thought she was mean and nasty and horrible. And we're sitting next to each other because Amy and I couldn't get seats together. And not the waitress or steward, flight attendant comes up and goes, what would you two like? And they think we're a couple. Aww. I'm not a couple with the 100-year-old woman. What are you talking about?
Police are on site in Pioneer Square this morning investigating a stabbing that happened about an hour ago. This is on First and Yesler. The victim does have life-threatening injuries. The police have not revealed any suspect information yet, but if you are traveling in that area, expect police activity and some street closures. Again, this is First and Yesler in Pioneer Square.
Anytime I go anywhere near there, any time of day, I expect police and road closures. Yeah. What is happening? I mean, I get it's a quote-unquote tough neighborhood. I don't see it that way. It looks adorable to me, but somebody did get stabbed. But what's up with all the roads being... there's no great way in or out of Pioneer Square anymore.
It's crazy. I mean, it's all over the city, but there in particular is really bad.
A small plane hit a car after overshooting the runway at an airfield in Snohomish.
Was Harrison Ford in the car or the plane?
3 people, including a child, were in the single-engine plane. It was approaching the Harvey airfield. And the sheriff says that the car was on the ground doing what it was supposed to be doing, but the plane descended at the far end of the field ran through a chain link fence and then collided with the car, which had one person inside. No one was hurt.
Oh, that's amazing.
Pretty shocking. They say there was actually pretty limited damage to the car and the plane.
Both of those things are things the human body was not made to do. Why are you flying? That's crazy. God did not meant for you to do that. And why are you going 70 miles an hour in a car? You're not meant to do that. And have those two crazy things come together and nobody hurt. That's amazing.
Pretty wild. And a story that has a lot of people talking this morning is about the U.S. Border Patrol, and it has nothing to do with separating families. This has to do with a woman who illegally and accidentally crossed over the U.S.-Canada border while jogging. Now, the woman was in British Columbia. Her name is Sedelia, and she went for a jog, and then she accidentally crossed the international boundary in Peace Arch Park.
Which country did she start in?
Canada.
She started in Canada.
Yes.
Went for a run.
Yep, wound up in Blaine, Washington.
And she's not Canadian, right? She was visiting from France or somewhere?
Correct. Now, she crossed over. U.S. border agents stopped her, and they said, we just got you on camera crossing over into the United States. Where's your ID? And she said, I'm out for a jog. I don't have anything with me.
Okay, so far I believe her.
Yeah.
I do this Green Lake thing that I now do every day. Nobody has any ID on it at all. No money, no nothing.
Right.
When I go jogging outside, I certainly don't carry anything with
Right.
me. They took her into custody. They drove her down to Tacoma and was in custody for 2 weeks.
They drove her down to Tacoma?
Yep.
I mean, I guess that's where the processing facility is or whatever, but 2 weeks?
How far is that?
124 miles.
Jeez Louise, that seems like an overreaction.
Yeah, if you weren't across the border now, you certainly are now.
And did she say, because she's French, and that's what they say.
Her mother was able to travel and provide her ID. She also had some study permits that showing like she isn't here illegally. She didn't come over here from France illegally. There's something wonky going on.
And it's not like there's a line on the ground in the park. You know, she's out for a jog.
Yep.
Well, I was actually going to ask about that. Can she see the line that they see on film?
No, it's certainly not like Paul's indicating. Like there isn't this
There's
white
not a big
chalk
white line.
Right. Says USA on one side and Canada on the
Yeah,
other.
and it's not the actual border, like where the gates are all set up. Like,
Right.
we've all been to that border
Yeah.
control up in the Blaine area. There's no big sign that says halt here.
Yeah,
Thou
if you want to
shalt
keep
not
the
cross.
French out, you got to put up a wall.
Well, now, according to Border Patrol, they said it's your responsibility to carry identification. However, her case does not appear to fall under the zero tolerance policy because she wasn't charged with a crime. Therefore, she was released, did not have to be further detained.
Released in Tacoma?
She was released to her mother's custody. They drove right back up to Canada.
I don't think they served that young lady well.
No, I don't think so either. But also, how is it a zero tolerance policy if you go, no, she's fine? You know, you can't have a
Because
zero
she
tolerance
wasn't
policy
trying.
and offer tolerance.
I think they chalked this one up to this
Yeah.
was a mistake.
Yeah.
Which, well, they should, but they should have done it 124 miles north of where they
It
did
seems
it.
crazy to me that they brought this poor lady down to Tacoma. Not that if I've never been arrested in Tacoma, so that might be.
And they didn't even stop at Sonic on the way.
Yeah, they didn't
bummer.
please this woman at all.
Poor lady. So let that be a lesson if you're thinking about going jogging. Maybe next time you're on vacation, put some ID.
That's actually why Danny and I don't
Yeah,
jog.
that's it. I was just going to tell
That's the
you.
one reason.
Microsoft founder Bill Gates is pouring $4 million into a project created to kill mosquitoes that destroy each other through sex.
People do that. I knew this one girl. Oh, wait. No, back to you.
This is all in a bid to curb malaria, which is a disease typically transmitted through the bite of infected mosquitoes. What their plan is to infect the female mosquitoes so that if they then have sex with the male, that kills the male, and then if it does get pregnant, then the kids still have that antibody that will not transmit the malaria, and therefore it will eradicate malaria mosquitoes.
This is so messed up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Poor male mosquitoes.
Yep.
Just
You know,
trying to mind their own business.
and-
Along comes a sexy female mosquito.
If they would just wear those little tiny adorable condoms that I invented, they'll be fine.
They're starting trials for this now, but Bill Gates is trying to make the world a safer place, make sure everybody drinks enough water and doesn't get malaria.
Right.
He's a good guy. So I'm not exactly sure. Obviously, this is not my purview. I do not know exactly how the mosquito killing works, but they are starting trials to try to stop malaria because mosquito-borne illnesses are wreaking havoc worldwide.
And Zika came with a mosquito.
Yeah. There's another one that's like Zika but different and also causes an encephalitis. So that's one just cropped up over the weekend for the first time on the East Coast.
It's all bad news.
Yeah. And in national and international news, a South Carolina lawmaker who defeated U.S. Rep. Mark Sanford in his reelection bid has been seriously injured in a car wreck that will require weeks of recovery and procedures.
Ooh.
This is State Rep. Katie Arrington. She's now trying to recover in a hospital. Totally insane car wreck. She and a friend were traveling on the highway. Another driver traveling in the wrong direction hit their vehicle. The driver of the wrong way vehicle died at the scene. This woman, back fracture, broken ribs, had to remove portions of her small intestine and her colon.
Oh.
Partial artery collapses. She's in rough shape.
Yeah, she is.
And they said it's just going to take some weeks for her to recover.
So what happens to the seat she just won?
I don't know how that works. I'm not the faintest idea. Does somebody get your proxy? Do you have an assistant that takes over? I don't know.
You know, it's so weird. Have you ever seen, I don't think they just took over. They had to go win an election. We notice a lot of people having their kids take over their seat and they win. And I think that's weird. It's like being in Menudo. You kick them out at a certain age and a new one comes in.
It was a big weekend in Saudi Arabia. At midnight on Saturday, women were allowed to drive.
Bad idea.
Shut up.
No, I'm being dead serious. Not women driving. Saying let's do it for the first time at midnight on a Saturday.
True.
Where were they at 11:59? What were they doing? I know. And let's get in our car. I don't know if they're wearing burqas or not, but I don't know that driving for the first time on the city streets at midnight on a Saturday is a good idea.
A lot of women really did wait till that stroke of midnight and got behind the wheel because they were so excited. But a lot of these women had been driving illegally already and posting videos to YouTube, despite the fact they were risking life and limb and prison terms. But officially, they can now drive in Saudi Arabia.
Well, good for you. God bless.
That's some bad news in the world. Well, here in America. Harley Davidson said they're facing rising costs from new tariffs, the ones that are being imposed by Donald Trump. These will...
Is it Donald Trump or the ones that are retaliatory from other countries?
It is on exports as well as imports.
So they're getting nailed two ways because they've got to import materials to make their bikes.
Right, where they get creamed right there.
And then when they export the finished product, their motorcycle. Yep. Oh, that's not good.
I thought on the export it was on the country in which the bike was driving.
Yeah, exactly. So they would get it from both. They'd get it from the U.S. and from whatever country they're exporting to.
So it was bad news for Harley Davidson. They announced they are going to start shifting production of motorcycles to factories overseas. They said they've made a regulatory filing this morning. European Union tariffs on those motorcycles jumped from 6% to 31%.
Wow, that's crazy.
Huge jump. So jobs will be lost as they move the production of these bikes overseas.
When they say overseas, do you know where?
Likely Europe, because depending on how these tariffs work, they could still get hit on tariffs if they were in, say, Taiwan and then had to ship those to Europe.
You know, it's a lot of fuss, too. I never see Harley Davidsons in other countries. They have much smaller bikes. Yeah. Never see Harley. When you do, it's like when you see a giant 1957 Chevy over in Denmark or Taipei. It's just unheard of.
It's started to get really big in China. A status symbol. They know it's an expensive bike. And yet, a lot of those are huge. But yeah, there's so much new money in China for younger people. They're starting to...
I'm reading a book with Amy right now called Crazy Rich Asians. Mm-hmm. You heard of it?
I have.
It's a movie that's coming out as well. And these particular people have earth-shattering amounts of money and love to use it, but they're not like wacky or anything. It's all-time money that has come along. It's kind of an interesting thing about how much, and a lot of it is about the new money in China.
Yeah, and it's happening in India too, and a lot of that is because of outsourcing. So a lot of the lower class people in India, the young people, all of a sudden are making boat tons of money. And you always think of India as just being so dirt poor. They have a huge rising middle class. Middle to upper class, and they're young. You know what it's like when you give a young person a whole bunch of money?
Yes, I do.
They blow it.
Wait till they start building our Harleys. Then they're going to have even better jobs.
Because right now I thought they were just fixing my computer over the phone.
Right.
Parks officials in Buffalo, New York are tickled pink over claiming a new world record for having the longest line of garden flamingos.
Can you just do something stupid and get a world's record for it? That's
Apparently
crazy.
you can.
I am a little perplexed. One of our listeners did point this out as well, that back in the day, the Guinness Book of World Records was a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, it really does seem like, I was going to say how many quarters you can put up your nose, but I know, Danny, you tried to break that one.
I actually did a fine job. Thank you very much.
But that is an actual record that's in the book.
But I don't know. Is it in the book or is it
it's
in
on the
records?
website, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Because the book is the thing I cared about when I was a kid. You looked up all sorts of crazy stuff and not how many flamingos in a row.
I remember it used to be stuff like the world's tallest man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Longest fingernails, longest nose hair. I'm pretty sure that was one.
There was one.
And well, now it's the longest line of pink flamingos. In this case, 1,500 pink flamingos.
They should get flocked. It's hard to say that word, man. Just be careful enough.
Made me a little
That's
nervous.
the thing, though. But there's a thing where people come by you wake in the morning, you go outside, and your house is covered in flamingos.
Yeah.
And there's a big sign that says you've been flocked.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of silly.
What was cute at the end of this, at least, is people who took part and residents of Buffalo were invited to adopt the lawn ornaments and bring them home. I'm going to move into a house just so I can have a pink flamingo.
Yeah, me too. Oh, wait, I live in a house. No, I'm not.
Paul, do you have any gnomes or pink flamingos?
Oh, we've got gnomes all over the place.
Do you
No
really?
flamingos. Oh, actually, no, we have one pink flamingo.
How did you
forgot.
just forget that?
Yeah. It's not your traditional, like, plastic pink flamingo.
It's a live flamingo.
Yes, exactly. No, like it flops around in the wind and then like its wings spin around.
yeah.
It's like a windsock flamingo, maybe.
Gotcha. But you have gnomes.
Yeah,
That's
lots
cute.
of
I
gnomes.
just realized I officially have a gnome.
Do you?
Oh,
yeah, but outside, Amy put some succulents, is what she calls them.
Yeah.
And there's a little gnome right by there.
That's not what she calls them. That's what they are. Succulents.
But it is weird
She
to call
calls
them
them
that.
what they are. It's weird. These are my succulents.
And it's part of a little array of succulents is a little gnome?
It's I don't know what the hell it is. It's a bunch of little cactus type things and a little gnome that she bought at the cactus store. Yeah, it's adorable.
I have lawn envy. Can I put one out on my balcony?
They're on my porch. You have no envy of my lawn.
Okay. A 28-year-old Indiana woman has been arrested for allegedly dragging a nail salon employee with her car because she did not like her manicure.
Huh?
Yeah.
Seems like a bit of a overreaction.
Might be. Charlie Fowler, unhappy with the work that had been done on her nails at the Diamond Nail Spa. And employees said, well, we'll fix it. What's the big deal? Like, if you don't like it, we'll put a different color on or a little different stripe, whatever the problem is. And she lost her mind. Said, I am not paying for this. And the nail technician followed her out there and said, come on, let's fix this. Plus, you owe me $30. Well, that's when she tried to run her over with her vehicle, dragged her. Fowler was charged with theft and criminal recklessness.
Wait. Okay, not the lady getting dragged.
No, the lady
Yeah,
getting
okay.
dragged was just a nice nail salon lady.
Oh,
dragger.
Let go of the car. I always think that when I hear a drag story, it's like, let go.
Probably don't even leave the nail salon.
Good idea. Don't walk outside with crazy people.
Yeah.
Thieves cut a hole in the roof of a Best Buy in Georgia and then, in a Mission Impossible style heist, rappelled into the store to steal $100,000 worth of Apple products.
Wow.
This was pretty high tech, I must
So
say.
far, I like it, to be honest with you. It's
Yeah.
not like Apple's going to be hurting.
Well, I guess it would be Best Buy's. They're the ones losing money.
Which,
on
how
this.
are there still Best Buys? Like, what are people buying? It used to be you go there and buy all the new CDs and all the new DVDs, and now those things aren't really things.
Televisions.
Yeah, but televisions, I brought my computer there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But how often do you buy a new television? Like, I
should
used to
buy
go
my
there
TV.
all the time. I used to go there every week. Oh, new music's out. Let's go
Yeah.
there and buy new music.
That's a good point. Like, how often are you buying a new TV?
No,
and
it seems like
what
Amazon
else?
should have buried them by now.
Yeah.
Well,
Good on them for still existing. I
Yep.
just don't know how.
the Best Buy bandits drilled a hole into the ceiling.
Is that their name?
Yep.
I like it.
They then descended into the closed store like they were Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible.
Bet not.
They stole tens of thousands of dollars worth of iPhones, iMacs, MacBooks, and other electronics. And they said they had enough equipment that they got in and out, and they have no clue who they are.
Wow, pretty impressive.
I'm impressed. I feel bad for
because
somebody.
they also had to, once they got down there, they rappelled down there in the Tom Cruise style thing.
Yeah.
Now you got to get computers up to your guy waiting on the roof, I guess, with a basket.
But there are all those lasers, and you had to like step over them to make sure that
It's Best Buy, not Fort Knox.
Are you saying a basket like a shopping cart? Like they filled a shopping cart?
Not that big, but yes, I'm saying
That's
exactly
awesome.
that.
I totally want to see them trying to
way,
lift the shopping cart.
So you can get a visual. It's like a real big picnic basket.
Okay.
That kind. You tie
what basket?
A picnic basket. In case Yogi steals your stuff.
Yeah.
And Pueblo, a beautiful, quiet little area. Well, the sheriff's deputies busted an illegal grow operation at a home in Pueblo. 420 plants were found in almost every single room of the house, including the bathroom and the crawl space.
Okay, that's on purpose. Somebody counted out the plants.
420.
It has to be, right?
Oh,
I
absolutely.
would think so, yeah. Although, who do you do it for? Except the cops that are busting you and go, nice job on the 420 thing. Now come with me.
I mean, you must know deep down, like, I have 420 illegal plants.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
You
I'm
do it
not
for
even
yourself.
going that deep. I think on the surface,
Well, they said the estimated street value, $1.2 million.
Wow. Now, but nobody sells it on the street anymore, do they?
But that's just the term for it, what
Right,
it would
I
cost
realize
if
that,
they
but
sold it.
I'm wondering where do you sell it? Do you sell it to stores? Will stores take it?
No, if this is an illegal grow
I think-
operation, they are selling it on the street.
They are selling on the street. People too young to go in those stores, or
Cheaper.
prices
it's
are
cheaper.
better.
It's not taxed, so it's
Right.
cheaper.
$1.2 million. They said they have not made any arrests yet, but they do know the person whose home it is, and they will face charges for 420 plants. It's time for today's Things Are Not Right in Florida. Story of the day.
Yay!
A 49-year-old woman got so drunk at the bar, she was chasing other patrons around the parking lot. She's facing a whole slew of charges, although she did pull the "Don't you know who I am" card at
Who
one
was
point.
she?
She is the daughter of God.
Well, aren't we all?
Yeah, I guess so.
That's
In a
terrible.
way.
Yeah.
Well, she was pretty wasted, chasing people, attacking them, acting crazy. They said, "You need to leave." And she said, "You can't arrest me. I'm the daughter of God."
And she's got a chip on her shoulder because her brother always gets all the attention.
Oh, Florida.
Oh, Florida.
I saw that
That
happening
excuse
this morning.
didn't work, by the way.
I saw a girl, pretty blonde girl, in blue jean shorts cut off with black stockings coming out. Two friends were holding her up as she was walking along about 5 in the morning. She looks at me, she goes, "Ah!" like that. And I went, this is not going to end well. Where did they just come and pick you up? And she couldn't be over 19 years old. It's like, where did these guys just come and find you in that outfit at 5 in the morning?
Where was this?
This was at the corner of something and something else.
In Seattle?
down there.
Oh, right up the street on my way here just now. It was 5 blocks from here, I guess. I just don't know those side streets' names.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back with music news, a very sad passing over the weekend in the music world. A rock legend gone too soon. An interesting update to the controversial jacket that Melania Trump wore last week.
Cool. You want to know?
We'll talk about that in music news.
Huh.
Plus, you can win yourself into an upcoming Mariners game next at Sports. Starting with music news, I want to tell you guys there is a brand new game sweeping the nation that we will be playing at 7:20, and you can win a pair of tickets to see John Fogerty July 19th at Chateau Saint Michel. The game, we will disclose it in all its excitement and entirety at 7 o'clock, but you can play at 7:20.
I don't think she understands it any more than I do.
It's a lot of buildup.
Yeah. Hey, man, make sure you're here in a long time from now.
This is a sold-out show.
Yeah,
This is a
actually,
big
this is the
deal.
second show. So they added a second show.
Wow,
the first
really?
show sold out. They added a second show. That's what we have tickets for, and those tickets
Fantastic.
are available for people to buy as well.
I did not realize this was the second show.
Yeah,
added.
very cool.
Wow, very cool. All right, 7:20, you can win your way in. First Lady Melania Trump caused quite a stir when she wore a jacket that said, "I really don't care. Do you?"
Yeah, I'm beside myself for an explanation about this.
Well, I don't have an explanation for this.
Bummer.
Nobody has an explanation for this. But A lot of people have been speaking out about it, saying, that's not cool. What's this message? What does it mean? Because we do care. So much so that Eddie Vedder's wife, Jill, wore a jacket at the concert in Milan. Bazillions of people, a huge crowd in front of Milan. And the jacket said, yes, we all care. Why don't you?
Right.
And the crowd ate it up, absolutely loved it. And this was protest, and the band did also speak out about some politics. It wasn't ad nauseum. The crowd really did support them. And the reason they did it in Milan,
supported
the band and the talk, because
I think rock bands should shut up.
Yeah.
Especially on foreign soil. I really do.
They shouldn't bring their wife out on stage with a message on her jacket.
Actually, I kind of like that,
Yeah.
to be honest. But no, press conference, whether you talk about the tough state of the American economy and that kind of crap, I don't know.
it was more like a swear word followed by our president's name. Eddie Vedder is not a big, long political speaker.
See,
It's
I think,
choice words.
and as we all know, I have no great love for Donald Trump, but F the president of the United States on foreign
that's not
soil
a quote.
bothers me.
No, that's not a quote, but that's what I'm saying, that the attitude is more like that than Neil Young giving a soliloquy for half an hour
F
on
Neil
the state
Young.
of things.
I hope Neil Young will remember. Southern man don't need him around anyhow.
The reason they did this in Milan is after that, Eddie and Jill shared a special moment celebrating their wedding anniversary because they met in Milan. And so it's a very special city to them. And then they shared a bottle of champagne and then they rocked out.
No, it's nice.
Yeah.
A couple other people took the opportunity to wear jackets, the same jacket with a message, like a green jacket.
I like that. I like that.
My wife wore that same jacket this weekend, though no message. I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah.
For some reason, she has, green canvas jacket, and she just happened to wear it out of the house. I said, if you're going to wear the Melania Trump jacket, you have to put something on it. But she
Yeah,
didn't.
come on, Holiday.
Yeah, come on.
I don't know what the message would be, but you got to put something on there.
I'm leaving you. And no she's going outside.
That message has been made clear.
And some sad news from the music world this morning. We found out over the weekend that Vinnie Paul, drummer and founding member of Pantera, died. 54 years old.
Wow.
Died,
Way too young.
Yeah.
Way too young. Died in his sleep. They founded Pantera in 1981 alongside his brother Dimebag Darrell. And I don't know, Danny, if you remember, but Dimebag's death was tragic. A fan went up onto stage during a concert, shot and killed him.
No, I didn't remember. Now I do. Oh, my goodness gracious. That's
Yes.
awful.
And I didn't know they were brothers, like actual brothers, not, hey, brother. Like they were real
Actual brothers. And so over the weekend, a great pouring of respect and homage from every sort of facet of band. Duff McKagan, poignant words, just so many people. Pantera, very, very influential band.
Eddie Vedder said F Donald Trump.
Yep.
That's
yep.
what he says. That's kind of a thing. How's it going? F Donald Trump.
But then just the nicest guy in the world, and 54 years old. No cause of death. They said it was in his sleep. Def Leppard guitarist Phil Collen said the band are out on tour, but are working on some new material while they're out on the road with Journey. And they said, we've got 3 songs ready to go. No word on whether you'll hear, this one's off our new album when they're out on tour, but they might debut a couple of new songs.
I could go all day without hearing new stuff. When I'm at a concert, I mean, if it was new stuff once and you put on an album and then I got to hear, yeah, I like this one. That's one thing, but I don't know about new stuff. Def Leppard.
Couple crazy stories from the world of entertainment. Heather Locklear was arrested last night.
Last night?
Last night.
Again.
Well, she was arrested once last night, but
Again, last night?
Again?
Again?
But it was crazy because she was arrested, I think it was a week ago. She was taken into custody, put in on a psych hold, saying she was going to shoot herself.
Yeah.
Before that, it was just a few weeks prior, domestic violence.
Yeah.
This time, she was taken into custody and booked for 2 counts of misdemeanor battery on an officer and emergency personnel. She tried to beat up an EMT officer and a police officer.
Where were they?
Her home. They were called to her home, and she was arrested. They were trying to put her on a gurney. She kicked the EMT, and
So she's crazy.
she's certainly having some sort of breakdown. It would appear.
And are there drugs and alcohol involved as well, or is it just a mental breakdown?
She's had issues with drugs and alcohol in the past, but that's certainly not the kind of information an EMT can make public. that would be illegal.
Right, but that's
The cops can.
You know what? I've been arrested out of my mind, and I never thought, well, it's really. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to punch that cop right in the head. I've never once, and I'm fairly loose on how reality works out, and I have never done that. So I got to go with she's fairly real life crazy.
It's pretty shocking, and so we don't know when she was placed on the psych hold what happened. We have no idea because
They let her out.
They let her out.
Yeah.
But maybe because you only have her for 72 hours, maybe they had to let her out.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know that we're just finding out this morning she was arrested a few hours ago.
I was let out for my 5150, my psych hold. I was let out in about 4 hours. I was really bragging like crazy. And I was telling Amy about it at some point. And she goes, you know, you might want to brag about not being held in a psych ward, not how fast you got out. It's like, she doesn't know how to party.
Another crazy story that happened over the weekend involves actor Michael Rappaport.
Yeah.
Now, you know this guy.
Yeah.
He's been in a lot of really great movies, but he's also very involved in basketball. He's a big sports guy.
Yeah.
Basketball is his big sport. So Michael Rappaport was with a couple of basketball players, Glenn Big Baby Davis and Baron Davis. They were at the Big Three Leagues opening night.
Uh-huh.
They were on an airplane, and a passenger tried to open up the emergency exit. He got the situation under control, according to witnesses.
Who?
Michael Rappaport went over with a couple of these basketball players and were able to hold the guy, drag him away from the emergency door. And the passenger said, "Oh, I just thought that was the bathroom." No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. I mean, maybe if you were like drunk enough.
They're weird. I was sitting right at the bulkhead, I guess that's what's called, the wall between coach and first class.
Yeah.
So I had nothing to do with it. Like, I couldn't quite see the bathrooms. And am I allowed to go up to the first class thing to go to the bathroom, or do I have to go all the way to the back? It seems like a hassle. And I'm going to go up to the front. So I decided I'd go up to the front, and I'm in a big hurry because I think this might be bad and I might be wrestled to the ground.
Yeah.
And I walked right into the closet that they have for their stuff. I'm just opening the little latches that open so I can go.
Did you winky in there?
No, I did not. It occurred to me for making me feel so stupid that I went in and nobody cared at all.
I've seen people not know how to operate the bathroom on an airplane. You know, you have to push it.
Yeah.
Right
in the middle.
center. Like, I've seen people really have a hard time figuring that out. But not to the point where you think the emergency exit with the emergency sign and the turn this knob and push as hard as you can.
Right, but I think you could make a valid argument that I was confused. I think that could happen. I don't know that it did, but I think you could.
They are calling him a hero.
The guy that tried to open the door?
Michael
Not that guy.
Rappaport.
Michael Rappaport.
That guy's a goof, too, by the way.
Yeah.
Han Solo's blaster from Return of the Jedi has sold at auction for, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Are you sitting down?
I'm always sitting down. I'm just short, Sarah.
$550,000.
This is the real Han Solo.
The real Han Solo's blaster from Return
Not
of the
the
Jedi.
fake Han Solo's little tiny baby
Yeah.
blaster.
No, that's more money than the new movie made. $550,000.
The sci-fi weapon was the top-selling item at the Hollywood Legends auction. Now, this was a part of a huge auction. The Imperial Scout Trooper blaster from the movie sold for just shy of $100,000. Superman 3, the costume worn by Christopher Reeve, sold for $200,000.
I don't know what you would do with that. I mean, I have ideas what you might do with that, but
Yeah?
you're creepy. And your wife's creepy, too.
Yeah.
A black wool dress worn by Marilyn Monroe went for $50,000, and this was to benefit the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library Foundation.
It's lovely.
A lot of people with a lot of loot.
And a lot of people with a lot of books. Another new library.
Yeah.
Put them online. That's what I say. Make condos.
Game of Thrones has really propelled a lot of people's careers.
Yeah, the little dude's on fire. He's got another movie coming out.
Is that how he dies? He's on fire?
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but that is how he dies.
Peter Dinklage has certainly seen his career take off. He's had a lot of really big movies. Emilia Clarke is the blonde lady who always shows her boobs.
Yeah, she does.
Her career's skyrocketing. Sophie Turner, she plays, she's the redheaded Sansa Stark.
Sansa, yeah.
She's now dating or engaged to one of the Jonas brothers.
That's weird.
Jon Snow just got married to
That's the story.
Oh, well,
Kit
there you go.
Harington,
Yeah, Paul.
who plays Jon Snow,
I thought we were just naming characters
welcome
here.
to my world.
got married over the weekend to a woman he met on Game of Thrones.
Yeah. The other redheaded chick.
Yes. egret.
Yes.
He has no egrets.
He doesn't.
Spoiler alert. They're a couple on the show.
Yeah.
He kills her.
Well,
In real life? No, on the show.
Full on spoil. I don't even care
Yeah.
about spoiler alerts, and that seems
That
crazy
was
that,
like
you just did that.
season 2, I think, and we're on season 6.
That was like right
He
after.
killed her, not he kills her.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
like, you know nothing, Jon Snow,
So,
and then he
That's her.
stabs her,
in the chest.
Yeah.
Because she wouldn't listen.
Yeah. Well, turns out she is from a very prominent family in Scotland. They got married at her family's castle,
Wow.
the 900-year-old Ward Hill Castle. And a lot of the Game of Thrones actors were there, including the man on fire, Peter Dinklage.
Right, sure.
But pretty cute that they got married. They met each other on the show. They were lovers on the show and then got married.
That's very cute. I like it a lot. And I like that he's the movie star and everything, but she's got the castle. You know, you're somebody. Because over in England, you can be whoever you want, celebrity. But when you're a knight or a dame or any of those things, you transcend all of that.
It's a pretty big deal. She's currently starring in the U.S. legal drama called The Good Fight. Congratulations to Brigitte Nielsen. She has given birth at the age of 54.
No congratulations going out to that kid. And that kid, I might want to save his room at rehab right now.
Oh,
Is it Flava Flav's kid?
It is not.
Ah, man. Because I was going to say, is it a boy? Is it a girl or a boy?
It was a little girl, her first. This is her fifth kid, first daughter. A little girl, 5 pounds, 9 ounces. Her husband is 39 years old, and this is their first child together. It's pretty impressive.
But there's some mechanics involved in this, right?
You can still get pregnant at 54. She did not disclose the method by which she got pregnant.
Right. So
absolutely
it could be
natural.
just we had sex, you got pregnant, had birth at 54. That's what, 'cause I didn't know that. I just assumed around 50. That was the cutoff point.
Yeah.
For some it's 45. For some it's 60. Depends on when your body tells you I'm not making eggs anymore. Knock knock. Hi, I'm not making eggs anymore.
I don't believe it, by the way, at all.
You don't believe it?
No.
And what do you think happened?
I think they implanted a little baby boy.
That's weird because she gave birth to a girl.
That's how her womb works.
Let's take a look at sports.
Sports
brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY. It was a bit of a rough weekend for your Seattle Mariners. They lost to the Sox 14-10 on Friday.
You would think it would be fun to watch a baseball game with 24 runs.
Yeah.
Not that one.
Not that one, at least for us, but that is an exciting baseball game.
It was, and Nelson Cruz, I think, went 4 for 5, hitting bombs, but then the Red Sox did too and won that game.
Yeah, I was in a bar in that 7th inning when they were just the Red Sox were coming back and just scoring like crazy. Everybody's like, "Wow, at least we're drinking while we watch this game."
By the way, I agree with that totally.
Yeah.
Well, on Saturday, the Mariners beat the Red Sox 7-2, but yesterday the Mariners got shut out in that season finale 5-0. So we've been on a bit of a skid. This is a tough road trip. We knew it would be. Derek, how has Houston been doing? Where are we in the standings?
We are in second place, 4.5 games behind the Houston Astros. They're still playing pretty good ball. They've won 8 out of their last 10.
Well, the person after us is still really far back. So we're in good shape.
That's no way to look at it.
And we got the Baltimore Orioles coming up, and they're terrible.
Yeah.
That's a good way to look at it.
They have the worst record in baseball.
Do they seriously?
They do, yeah.
I knew they were terrible. I thought maybe San Diego did.
So let's forget the Red Sox and the Yankees and just go beat up the Orioles.
Yeah, we're coming for you.
Yeah.
Well, they are still on the road. It's a 4:05 start time against the Orioles. Root Sports. And because they're on the road, we are going to play an in-studio version of Mariners KZOK Music Trivia right now. If you're new to the game, here's how it works. We play you a clip, you call us, and the first person to tell us the title, the artist, and the year it came out wins tickets to an upcoming game. Derek, hit the clip. Ooh. All right, call right now, 800-252-1025, artist, song title, year it came out.
I never once noticed that he says shucks. That is so cool. Shucks. That is awesome.
Should we bring that one back?
Yes.
Yeah. Shucks.
Because I say crumbs all the time as like my darn or drat. I got it from Tintin.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Drat?
Well,
Yeah,
it's like,
no, I'm
I say
familiar with the word
crumbs.
drat.
Yeah, the lady on
crumbs.
Bewitched says drat.
If I forgot my coffee at home, I'd say, "Oh, crumbs!
Yeah,
I
but
forgot my coffee at home."
it's not your drat. You're replacing a dirty word you don't want to
Yeah.
say when you say any of these words.
Like we
it's-
say chicken feathers in my house.
Right, see?
Chicken feathers.
Exactly.
But it's a oldie-timey phrase. I'm trying to bring back the oldie-timey ones. It's not
Okay.
working out so well because I haven't heard anyone else use it.
What's
No,
wrong?
Oh, shucks.
Of course, it's not.
No,
chicken wrong.
crumbs.
Whatever.
Something a little unusual happened yesterday at the Astros game. We're talking about how they've been on fire, but baseball players are so weird. They're so superstitious. Alex Bregman having a great season for the Houston Astros. He's their third baseman, but he popped out in the first inning and said, "All right,
How embarrassing.
this is just not working out. Something's just not right." When he came back out from in between innings, he had shaved his mustache.
Really?
It's pretty funny. Not as impressive as if he had grown a mustache in between innings, but
That would have been impressive.
still pretty funny.
That would have been admirable. But no, he said that something doesn't feel right. So he went into the locker room, shaved off his mustache in between the first and second inning.
It's not as impressive as say, oh, he shaved his head. Oh, it takes just a tiger of a man to do that.
True, yeah, absolutely.
All right. You guys remember the guy who plays for the Chiefs who decided to get his medical degree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Laurent Duvernay-Tardif.
Yeah, that's the name I remember. I would have
Yeah,
said that.
exactly.
But I'm glad you said it first, but I would have said it if you had.
Well, he's very proud of this accomplishment, as he should
As
be.
he totally should be.
So he decided that, it's not just about playing football. He wants to be a doctor. So he got his medical degree. He is an MD.
Yeah.
He
Although
is.
he's not doing brain surgery on me. Those giant fingers running around my head, not a chance.
Dr. Laurent Duvernay-Tardif. He wanted to put his name on his jersey, Duvernay-Tardif, MD.
Right.
The league said no
Why?
because they're the no fun league.
Because that's not his legal name.
Because
Yep.
that means Minnesota or some such thing. I don't
It's
know
not
what
his legal name. They said you can put junior, you can put senior, you can put the third, but MD is just your
But-
degree.
Weren't there lots of people with nicknames on there? What about Oingo
Ocho Cinco
Boingo? Yeah, that's
legally
the
changed his name.
He did. All right.
Yes.
So that guy should change his name then.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
No big deal.
All right, I'll let you know.
I was thinking about changing my name to Punky Brewster. I don't know why, but I was thinking about it.
The Sounders and the Chicago Fire ended in a 1-1 tie. Up next, Sounders, Portland Timbers next Saturday, 1:30 match time. The Storm defeated the Wings 97-76. They play tomorrow. Minnesota Lynx at 5. World Cup action yesterday. England defeated Panama. 6-1.
Yeah.
Yikes. Japan, Senegal, actually a super exciting match. 2-2 tie. Colombia defeated Poland 3-0. Poland and Panama, and I think, the Senegal's still in. Poland and Panama, I think, are officially out.
Yeah.
Today is a big deal. Saudi Arabia, Egypt at 7. Uruguay, Russia at 7. Then Iran, Portugal at 11. Spain, Morocco at 11. So, Derek, you've been watching this. Why are our times changing?
So we are in the final group stage before the round of 16, which will start this weekend. And in the final group stage, they're changing up the timing of the matches so teams don't, essentially teams won't screw things up and throw a match based on how things are happening before they play. So they're going to be playing concurrent times. So you don't know what already happened.
If you know a team that's in your group, if you know that they already won their match or lost their match or how many goals they scored, that could change how you play. So you might hold back and reserve some of your energy or pull some of your players. You might not play as hard because you know that other team already lost.
Gotcha. All right, so we are just moments away from those matches getting underway, and then the bigger matches are at 11 this morning. As we said, Mariners on the road playing the Baltimore Orioles. 4:05 start time on Root Sports, but we are playing in-studio Mariners KZOK Music Trivia. Derek, play the clip again. Well, what always gets us is the year. We know that is Jimi Hendrix. We know that is Foxy Lady.
Uh-huh.
But did we know it was 1960?
67?
67, that's right.
I
Oh,
thought
68.
67 as well. 68.
No.
Well, Mike in Edgewood, he knew 1968.
He knows everything.
He does. And Mike in Edgewood is headed to the Jeep winners window in our lobby to pick up tickets to what, Derek?
Mike won tickets for the game on Saturday night at 7:10 versus the Kansas City Royals, which just happens to be turn ahead the clock night.
Turn ahead the clock night.
Future is back on Saturday night when the Mariners turn ahead the clock versus the Royals on the 20th anniversary of the original event. The Mariners will don futuristic threads, and the first 20,000 fans will receive a futuristic Mariners cap courtesy of Alaska Airlines. Blast to mariners.com for tickets.
All right. Thank you. And congratulations, Mike. Your next chance to win will be tomorrow morning at this same time. Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys at 1-800-DUI-OA.
Well, let's talk about getting a DUI. It's a bum deal, especially in the state of Washington. We have extraordinarily tough laws. The lawyers at 1-800-DUI-OA will fight hard for you, and they'll meet you free of charge, man. And you need a lawyer, I'm telling you. And Seattle, Everett, or Tacoma, if the unfortunate happens to you and you get a DUI, don't delay. Call 1-800-DUI-OA. That's 1-800-DUI-OA. All right, we have tickets to see John Fogerty. We got a game. We always do it here right at 7:20. This is a great one. And it goes something like this. It's Fogerty or...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like that.
that's exactly it.
Yeah.
That's Fogerty or... So be here at 7:20 to tell us if it's Fogerty or not. Yeah, be here at 7:20. It's awesome. I promise.
There was a terrible story in the news. Well, I thought it was terrible, and somehow I think the two of you, Danny and Paul, thought that the job was right. A guy working at an office in Japan, man in his 60s, went to lunch 3 minutes early on a few occasions and got in big trouble at work.
Yeah.
Was ostracized, and they eventually did apologize because they realized 3 minutes, we might have kind of overstepped our bounds a little bit.
I think they may have had to apologize for how far they took it, not for what they did. The guy went to lunch early without permission. His
Rules are
job.
the rules.
Imagine if we did that. No, I'm dead serious. The song would end, the forecast would end, whatever thing would end, and there'd be radio silence.
Yeah,
and our
but
bosses would come in and go, how could you leave the radio station silent? We go, it was only 3 minutes, man.
It's an office job. Think about America. How many people leave their office job to go to Starbucks every day, to go smoke, to go take lunch whenever they want? In Japan, it is unbelievably strict. You go to lunch at the stroke of noon, and you are back at the stroke of 12:30. It's not like that here unless you work in a factory.
That's why we're a better country.
Well, they've been criticized for how strict their job culture is.
Yeah, because people drop dead at their desks there.
Yeah,
Yes.
they work themselves to death.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
I remember...
So if you hear, you'll know that happened to me, but you won't hear it because it's not.
I remember I worked in a restaurant once. I will not name it, but it's a big chain.
Denny's.
Much a bigger... more upscale than a Denny's.
Okay.
But one of the strictest things
You worked at Sizzler?
Oh, God, I love Sizzler, man.
Yeah.
Sizzler's a fine place.
One of the real strict rules was there had to be an exact number of sweet and low, sugar, all those packets. Like then you wind up putting in like stevia or whatever.
Right.
It had to be 6 and 3 and 3. Like it couldn't be 7. It couldn't be 2. It had to be a precise number of how many different types of sugar were in each little white container. And God forbid your salt or pepper shaker had any glass showing. They had to be filled up to the complete top.
Yeah. You don't want chaos.
Yeah, exactly. That's where all the rules fall apart. That's where we become communists.
But somebody would, at the start of every shift, go look at your tables. And if your tables didn't comply, you got into so much trouble.
You know what I guess it is? I think it's the green M&Ms. It's not really that important. It's just to make sure you're absolutely following the rules.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know, I had one for a pretty very same kind of number thing, but it was a time. I had a job as a security guard, and I had to punch a clock. And what that does is it tells them all the clock thing is it lets them know exactly that I was there on time. And if you were stamped more than about 3 minutes off either direction, you could get fired for that.
Jeez.
Yeah, and they would tell you every night they'd go over your card with you.
Yeah.
Although they fired me within about 7 nights. But still, it felt like it was a tough job.
Well, you guys listening, have you ever had a job with strict rules? What were they? We'd love to hear from you. Call us right now, 800-252-1025, or you can always text in 90627.
I have mixed emotions about this. Some office workers in Japan got punished for going to lunch 3 minutes early. I say, they still broke the rules, and rules are rules. Have you ever had a job with very tough rules, and what were they? Here's the phone number to call us, 1-800-252-1025, or you can text away at 90627.
Good morning to Richard in Puyallup.
Hey, Richard.
Good morning to you.
What's up?
Hey, yeah, I had a job that you have to abide by the rules on a fishing boat up in Alaska. It's the same thing. You have to do everything on time, and it has to be strictly done. And unfortunately, the same boat I was on after I'd gotten off and our crew left, that boat went down on Easter Sunday 2005. So some jobs you do have to go by the rules.
Yeah, when I saw that you were Alaskan fisherman, I thought, yep, that's one of those, because if you don't do all of that stuff right, people could, in fact, die, and therefore then did. Thank you very much for the call. I appreciate it.
800-252-1025. The question we're asking this morning is, have you ever had a job with very strict rules? What were they? Let's hear from Paul and Buckley.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, good morning, guys. Danny, back in the day in the Strategic Air Command, you didn't miss getting in your aircraft.
Well, are you saying you were a pilot, Paul?
Yeah, well, I was in pilot training. I was in OCS.
And they got mad if you didn't show up to your airplane?
Oh, boy.
I can only imagine. Wow.
I'm mad just thinking about it.
What jerks those guys are, requiring that the pilots show up to the airplane.
Think about how strict the jobs are in the military, though. With your uniform has to be completely precise.
So by the way, has the military changed dramatically? In the movies, remember the movies? They're not only screaming at you and calling your mom names, they're saying something about the color of your skin, and not in a good way. And that was just, that's what they do when they're getting you through. Hey, you stupid blank, do your blankety blank. And they don't talk like that anymore, do they?
I think boot camp's still like that.
They do?
Yeah.
I'm guessing they don't talk about the color of your skin, but they probably yell at you and your mom.
Well, they got to yell at you and my mom. They know her on base. But that's the thing specifically that was crazy, that seemed crazy to me, that if you were a different complexion from the drill instructor, you got screamed at for it.
Yeah.
That seemed weird to me.
Have you had a job with strict rules? That's the question we're asking at 800-252-1025. You can also text in at 90627. Paul, have you had one?
Yeah, I worked as a telemarketer at a call center, and so they were really strict on time, when you were there, when you left, because they have to make sure that they have enough people on the phones at all times. So if you wanted to take a break, if you had to use the restroom or just wanted to get a drink or whatever, you had to push a button, and it would alert a supervisor that you wanted to clock out to take a break.
Wow.
And then you had to wait for the supervisor to physically come allow you to clock out of the system. So I just got a really long extension for my headset, 15-foot cable for my headset, because my cubicle was right by the break room, so I could make it to the vending machine and the drinking fountain. I couldn't quite make it to the restroom, but that's how I avoided the rule of having to wait for a supervisor to come over so I could clock out.
That's amazing.
One of my first jobs, I was a babysitter. They had such strict rules. I had to feed the kid, and I couldn't leave it alone.
Couldn't hurt them.
That was annoying.
That's crazy.
Strict rules, man.
Oh, our friend Yo in Olympia texted into 90627. She says that her employer had a strict no fragrance policy.
Oh, interesting.
Because a lot of that's coming around now because of allergies and stuff.
That was the first time I ever heard of it. Was a place called, I forget what it was, a restaurant in Chicago. And they would sniff you when you came in, and sit you in the right part for you, and your smell that you probably paid a lot of money for, but you couldn't go into the main part of the restaurant if you smelled like cologne or perfume.
As a patron, I'm guessing that's illegal now, to be sniffed when you enter a restaurant. But
I like it.
As an employee, you should not be able to wear fragrance. I think.
Are
in any
you
business.
kidding? Do you walk around these hallways?
Yeah, a lot of cologne
people are out
going
of their
on.
minds
A lot of
around
sticky
here.
people.
Yeah.
Larry and Renton, did you have a job with strict rules?
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Yeah, I used to assist in eye surgery, and they got really upset when you didn't pay attention.
Well, I can imagine that's only fair, Larry.
What about Jim, who is calling, I believe, from North Carolina?
Yeah.
Hey, Jim.
Welcome to the show, Jim.
Hey, I was a security police in the Air Force, and we guarded alert B-52s with nuclear weapons. Yeah, you couldn't make mistakes there.
No,
I
bet not.
So.
If your job is, guard the safety of the entire planet, I would imagine they want you to do it on time.
Steve from Chicago checked in on our text line as well. He says he's a blackjack dealer, and they require that he be able to count to 21. I bet not just count. I bet he has to actually do math.
I'll bet
too.
there's
It's rules,
1,000
man.
more things for that guy. I think that guy's kidding around. Because the rules, for not having, you can't wear reflective stuff. Did you know that?
Yeah, I
You
bet.
can't wear something that's very
Of course, yeah.
reflective
They'll
because
see
they
the
think you're
cards,
seeing
yeah.
your cards in it.
Yeah. Greg in Redmond, did you have a job with strict rules?
Kind of not a job, but a school. I went to culinary school, and if you were doing front of the house and you came to school with your white socks and you were wearing blacks, the chef would make you take them off and rub black shoe polish on your ankles.
Okay, that's super
Wow.
weird.
Who is that guy from Hell's Kitchen?
Gordon Ramsay?
Yeah, was Gordon Ramsay your instructor? That's crazy.
Tori, have you ever had a job with strict rules?
Well, I don't like to tell people about this, but I worked for Safeway like for 2 days, and I kind of quit because they made me wear khaki pants, a long sleeve white shirt, and a scarf.
How dare they?
How dare they want you to look like a reasonable salesperson?
Who wants to buy a whole wardrobe? Like, that sucks.
That
That's
is
ugly.
bizarre.
Yeah, I can't imagine how you took it.
Why the scarf? What was going on?
I have no idea. I felt like a flight attendant, so.
But
Oh, not
Tori
that.
not wearing black? I mean, that was cruel and unusual
gross.
punishment. A lot of these jobs did require you to buy a wardrobe, which I found super weird.
Yeah.
A lot of the different jobs I had as a teenager, you had to get something khaki.
Yeah, it's a very weird. I got one that if you're off by 1/100th of a second, I'll just say that there. So it's
Yeah?
crazy that you could get in big trouble. And I think Sarah's the only one who may have experienced this. Talking up the ramps of songs.
Oh,
Talking
yeah.
of song
So if a song
introductions,
had
yeah.
an 11-second thing, and it would be music
Right.
until the 11th second, and then the words would start. And when we'd have this, what I had to do was in Philadelphia, and I'd hit the song, and Bon Jovi or Debbie Gibson or whatever would start singing, would start the song, and I'd be going, "Hey, this is Danny. You're listening to the Screaming Eagle on 102," and the song would start, and I'd get in big trouble and almost fired because I interrupted Debbie Gibson.
One show I worked on, it was a big group of us, and we would have kind of like a contest to see who could do it with no practice.
Yeah.
So like right now, Derek would start playing Bon Jovi. And we're
Right.
like, all right, Danny, try it. Again, it's going to be 10 seconds.
I was a fairly good ramp talker. I was bad at everything else about being a DJ, but I was okay at being a ramp talker.
Derek, did you have a job with strict rules?
So working as an entertainer in a haunted house, we had very strict no touching rules for the patrons of the haunted house. And we also had to undergo scream training, where they'd have sessions where they have the guy who runs the haunted house would make us stand in front of the crowd and scream and then give us tips on how to do it better.
Oh.
That is so creepy and weird.
Hey, look at the time. We did say we were giving you guys a chance to win tickets to see John Fogerty July 19th at Chateau Saint Michel. If you want to play, you need to start calling us right now at 1-800-252-1025. Play what? It's the new game, Sweep of the Nation, Fogerty or... .5 KZOK, where we are playing the new game, Sweeping the Nation, Fogerty or...
Fogerty or...
It's your chance to win a pair of tickets to see John Fogerty July 19th at Chateau Saint Michel. Now, the first show is sold out, but the second show has just been added. Tickets are available, and we are also giving you a chance to win them. So you'll have to tell us if the audio you hear is Fogerty or something that's totally not Fogerty.
That sounds easy.
It does.
it does.
I think we're starting off today extra easy, too.
All
I think it'll
right.
get harder as the week goes on.
We'll see. Our contestant is Luke in Seattle.
Hey, Luke, how are you?
Good morning, you people.
What do you mean, you people? Well, if you
Father.
can say that to us, we can say that we're your father or your girlfriend or whatever you want us to be there, Luke. All right, Luke, you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Yes, I do.
Do you understand the rules of the game?
Absolutely.
And here we go, son. Both John Fogerty and today's Orr have been playing in a traveling band for over the past 4 decades. Although I can't imagine that they ever toured together. Listen carefully to this audio and tell us, is it Fogerty or Foghat? I don't know if this is even a real game anymore, is it now? All right. Luke, let me ask you this question. Was that Fogerty or Foghat?
That was Fogerty.
That was Fogerty.
Paul did say he was going to start the week.
And he
Extra
did.
easy. We'll ease into it.
Yeah.
Is this a game going to get any harder, Paul?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to get
Okay.
harder throughout the week, I think.
Well, Luke, you're in luck then with the easy one. You are going to the Jeep Winners window in our lobby to pick up your tickets to John Fogerty, July 19th, Chateau Saint Michel. The rest of you can play again tomorrow, 7:20. Fogerty or... What coming up next is the big news of the day.
And the big news of the day is brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE or go online at goldbergjones.com.
More drama involving the Trump administration over the weekend, only this time it involved Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Friday night in Virginia, a restaurant called the Little Red Hen. She went there with a group of people to dine, and they asked her to leave. And the reason, according to the owner, is that many of her employees are gay, and the Trump administration has been very vocal about not protecting their rights and bathroom drama.
I don't think you can do that.
Well, Sarah Huckabee Sanders says, that's fine, I'll go. So the drama is twofold. Some people are supporting the restaurant's decision. They didn't want to have somebody in the Trump administration in their restaurant. Some people are saying, you can't do that. That was rude. And she said, the owner, I didn't really want to have a confrontation, but I have a business to run. And I did not want my morals and the morals of the people who work here to be under a microscope or corrupted.
So why did you go and get the microscope? What was she going to do? Sit down and go, you know what? I think the guy in the kitchen's gay. I'm going to cause a big to-do about this.
Yeah.
What was the issue? This was silly of them to, they'll get in the paper today as the heroes of the gay community, and that's probably as far as it will go, but I think that was way overstepping their bounds. And that lady's been taking a beating lately. They went too far, in my opinion, on Saturday Night Live, making fun of her appearance. You don't do that to a lady, make fun of their appearance.
She's got a rough job. I mean, to get up there every day in front of reporters who mostly know she's lying about a lot of things.
Yeah, mostly.
And they don't take it easy on her.
Nope.
But once she steps out of that and wants to go out to dinner, aren't the opinions of her employer? Who cares?
Right. No, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, no, they should not have done that.
When you say you can't do it, though, you legally can do it, right? There's no...
No, I don't
she's
think you
not
can.
Working at the White House is not a protected class.
No, but you can't bar somebody from a public business for their beliefs.
I think you can bar some. You can turn service away as long as it's not based on
race, religion.
Correct.
There's.
But I think that
protected
was
classes.
in a sense religion.
No, it's not a protected religion.
No, I mean, I guess you could say if you hold religious views against gay people,
right? Which just won in the Supreme Court, where people now have to make a cake or don't have to make a cake.
Yeah, that was a weird case in that they decided that guy wasn't a baker; he was an artist,
right?
And that he couldn't be compelled to decide what the subject of his art would be.
It just seems like a restaurant's overstepping their bounds, telling you who can come in for what you know that they think they believe. I'll bet you that she is, who cares, gay either way. She's living in a tough community. I think the president's been tough, but I think that was a mistake of them.
Well, Donald Trump took to Twitter to tell them their restaurant is dirty on the outside, and if a restaurant's dirty on the outside, it's dirty on the inside. You should really do a paint job and clean your windows.
Well, at least he was the bigger person.
Yes.
You know what? I'm glad he did it. The crazy little bastard.
Juvenile.
And I'm shocked that Donald Trump is juvenile.
On to the drug maker Purdue Pharma.
Purdue? I don't even know why, but I guess let's find out.
Their headquarters are in Connecticut. They are often in the news because they are the makers of OxyContin.
Oh, yeah, Purdue, for sure.
I don't know. You ever had one?
Yeah.
Purdue.
They are being blamed for helping fuel addiction and the opioid overdose deaths. Now, there are a lot of lawsuits that they are facing, and the CDC says opioid overdose deaths rose to about 46,000 last year. That's a huge number of deaths from opioid addiction.
To be honest with you, I would have thought way more than that.
Well, it's a huge increase year over year, which is the concern.
Right.
And the drug makers have long denied culpability. They're facing several lawsuits. Well, one artist has decided to make a statement. They went to their Connecticut headquarters and put there an 800-pound, 11-foot-long steel sculpture of a burnt drug spoon.
I'll bet, you know what, normally I'm not a fan of art when it's, like guerrilla art and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll bet that's good. I'm imagining it in my head. I'll bet that's really good and makes their point.
Yeah. And they said a lot of people they know, family members, for some people, this one man involved with this said that his mom got so upset because his brother was a user. Stop bending all my spoons.
Oh, yeah.
So he decided that that was the route he wanted to take with the artwork.
It's clever. I like it.
Yeah.
Now, we've seen a lot of people using different methods to commute, especially here in Seattle. We've seen those, what do they call it? That wheel?
Unicycles?
No, like that, what did you say? A unicycle?
Unicycle.
No, the wheel that you put your feet on, one on each side.
It's a unicycle. It's the
motorcycle.
new unicycle.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, it's got a different name.
It does? There's a store right next to my house. And I went in because I wanted a new unicycle.
And that's
They
two
still do.
wheels, right?
Nope.
Oh,
One
it doesn't?
wheel. You stand on both sides of it.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another one with a different name. I can't remember what
The
it's called.
company that makes those is called the Solo Wheel.
Solo wheel. Thank you. Now, we've seen those. We've seen skateboards. We've seen bicycles. We've seen all sorts of stuff. But in New York City, a man in a suit, running late, got on his paddle board and decided to paddle across the Hudson River.
Oh, okay. I was going. In my mind's eye, he's in downtown New York. I'm going,
yeah.
I don't see how this guy can paddle.
If you've ever been to New York City, the Hudson River is a very, very busy waterway with insanely high waves from all of the motorized vehicles that are
Yeah.
going by. This guy said he had to deal with full wakes, and he did get some splashes. He was a little bit worried. He did make it across the Hudson River. Dress shoes, full suit.
He's got a briefcase, and he's
Yep.
trying to hold the paddle.
This guy was a lot for show.
Well, a lot of people took video of this, and people just could not believe it. And he said, I was running late. I had a meeting that a guy who runs the ferry system screamed at him as soon as he got to the other side. Are you trying to flipping die out here? But he said,
Does seem reckless.
yep.
Yeah, so I don't believe any. I mean, I believe he
paddleboard?
did it.
Yeah.
I believe that, but I don't believe it was. Oh, I was late, so I did it. You know, I'm taking my life in God's hands. I'm
Yeah.
gonna cross the Hudson River with bridges and boats and all sorts of bad stuff.
Airplanes
And I'm gonna do
sometimes.
it in my dress shoes.
yeah.
Airplane, sure, they can drop out of the sky. They just did it on that guy's
Sully
car. Harrison
Sullenberger.
Ford could be going by. You don't
Sure.
know. So I just think he did this for the attention. But still, God bless him. It's fun.
Yeah.
My day's a little bit better knowing he did it.
He's okay, believe it or not. Not the smartest idea. In an experiment gone horribly right, Doritos have become dinosaur-sized to create the world's largest Doritos ever, called Jurassic Doritos. Get it? It's a collaboration with Universal Pictures. They are making dinosaur proportion Doritos.
They know that there aren't dinosaurs to eat them, right?
They come in like a little egg. They're really cute.
What?
Well, don't they come in a giant egg?
It's a giant egg, and you open it up, and there's a giant Dorito inside.
How do I open it? I don't think we're conveying the same thought here. Are they as big as a dinosaur?
It's for a dinosaur to eat.
Yeah.
So it's something that if you gave a dinosaur a little Dorito, it would be like a speck. This is for a dinosaur-sized appetite. They've also decided to extend the partnership further with 7 flavors of specially marked Doritos with custom packaging. And there are ways that you can actually win a trip to Costa Rica for buying their special Doritos.
Why Costa Rica? Is that where they filmed the movie?
I'm guessing it must be.
I thought it was in Hawaii.
Yeah, I
I
thought so
took
too.
an ATV ride there 20 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
You know that movie's been around 25 years?
That's crazy.
That's crazy. They did a thing on the news the other day, and they said, and how is this technology to bring those dinosaurs alive 25 years ago? And they show it. Looks great, man. What they were
Yeah.
doing 25 years ago was awesome.
We've been talking on the show, of course, about World Cup. World Cup action has been exciting, keeping an eye on it. Well, for some people, it means something a little bit different. In Japan, they've had 2 huge matches. One was Colombia, and over the weekend, they had a big match with Senegal. And so many people are watching in Japan. People get up all at the same time during halftime to use the bathroom.
Sure.
They have been extremely worried that it was going to ruin the city's sewage system
Right.
with that many people going. They said the water levels can fluctuate, that they had to take very special precautions to make sure that it didn't ruin their entire sewer system.
Because there's no break in soccer, so there's
Yes.
you don't go during a commercial break or timeout.
Yep.
You have to wait till halftime.
Yep. And so they said
And
the
there's over 100 million Japanese now, like 140 million Japanese now. That's a lot of whatever the Japanese do. I imagine it's very similar to what we do.
Yeah,
Don't you think?
probably.
But having it all go down the sewer at the same time, that could
Yes.
actually be trouble. Because I know the thing about when you build a stadium, they get everybody together and contest winners, and everybody goes and flushes the toilet all at the same time. Apparently, that's not completely true. Like,
Yeah.
that everybody doesn't run out. No, that they know how to make their toilets work. But this sounds like it might be a real problem.
Well, they were prepared for it. They knew, so they had to try to figure out a way to get more water to be available so that the pressure didn't go too low. Viewership, 50% of Japan is watching World Cup.
Oh, I bet.
That's a bunch of Japanese people watching TV.
Yeah, technically 48.7, but that's
Same
close
thing.
enough, right?
Yeah, round up.
That's a lot of people. Big news of the day, my friends. It is brought to you by Goldberg Jones, 1-800-DIVORCE, or find Goldberg Jones online, goldbergjones.com.
Can you believe there's more? Well, there is. Coming right up, it's Business News with Jim the Flagger.
And now, business news from Jim the Flagger.
The Boeing Company has won approval from the Federal Aviation Administration for the company's new foldable wingtips on its latest 777 jets. The twin-engine long-haul aircraft is seen as the industry's next big battle, with both Boeing and Airbus competing. This feature for the Boeing 777 will help reduce its wingspan from 235 feet to 212 feet when folded during ground operations. Folding airplane wings? That is some next level Transformer stuff right there. I love me some Boeing, but I don't know if I can fly on something that folds up like a damn paper airplane.
I'm with you. Well, thank you. I feel sexy. And you know what makes me sexy? The iHeartRadio app. I don't know how that makes me sexy. Maybe because I own radio stations when I have the iHeartRadio app. You can listen right now on your smart speakers. Just say, Alexa, play KZOK on iHeartRadio, and she will. Or say, okay, Google, play KZOK on iHeartRadio, and she will.
We've talked a little bit about Sonic and KFC doing something pretty spectacular for summer. And I was thinking about it over the weekend because I actually ordered a pickleback over the weekend, which is not something I would normally
One of
drink.
my favorite bands.
They're pretty great.
Yeah.
Pickleback is a shot of whiskey and then a side of pickle juice.
You actually drink that?
Yes.
Wow.
It was pretty delicious.
Really?
Yes.
Seems stupid.
Yeah, it really does.
But I did it like on a dare with Amy, and it was more than a shot. It was what was left in the jar. Plus, add to that, 10,000 fingers have been in the jar.
Yeah.
And then I chugged it. And at first it seemed good. It was good, I thought, but there was too much. It was like one mouthful too much. It started to give me serious heartburn.
Yeah. The pickleback is just a nice way to cut the whiskey, but you just sip both back and forth, and it's pretty nice.
Oh, it's not shot?
No.
Okay.
No. Well, still seems stupid then.
Yeah, it really does.
But pickle juice is a really trendy thing, especially this summer. Sonic, announced they had their pickle slushy.
Yeah.
And then KFC announced their pickle juice fried chicken.
Yeah.
Which sounds amazing. But sometimes the trends, they are annoying. And we've talked about kale. Like, everybody hates the kale, trying to over kale.
Do you know what my wife said to me? She said with a straight face that I think it's kale is the new cauliflower, or cauliflower is the new kale.
And cauliflower is the new kale.
Yeah.
But cauliflower's been, my mom served me cauliflower. No one ever served me kale.
But now people are trying to eat it at every meal, and they're making their breads out of cauliflower, and they're making pastas out of cauliflower.
I had buffalo cauliflower, and it was, by the way, it was delicious.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Well, that's the difference, is they are using it as a meat substitute or as a carb substitute. And that's why kale is being replaced by cauliflower. Cauliflower is the new kale.
Yeah, and cauliflower is better. In my humble opinion,
absolutely
in my
better
opinion,
than
it's
kale.
not humble even slightly.
It's hard. It's not hard to be better than kale.
Yeah, I could beat up kale in a fight.
Yeah.
But we often talk about all the trends that we hate. I mean, what are some of the current trends you love?
I'm a big fan of the short shorts.
Yeah, you like those.
I don't like that I've crashed 2 cars and a motorcycle. And by crash, nobody was hurt. Let me just say that, except my ego. But yeah, I was looking at when they go up just a little higher than the curve of the butt. That's too much, and I crash. But aside from that, I'm a big fan. It's nice, yeah.
Well, you guys listening, what is a current trend that you love? Pickle juice is a big trend. No one's complaining about that. Danny is loving the trend of short shorts. What is it for you? Call us 800-252-1025.
All right, so here's the deal on this. The question is, what trend do you love? And I'm going to, because pickle juice make it a big thing, and Sarah does it. I eat cauliflower like crazy, don't love the kale thing. But there is a trend. And here's our phone number if you wanted to call in with telling us what it is, the current trend that you love. 1-800-252-1025. Or you can text to 90627. Here's the thing, you guys. Let's see. Everybody I have seen, starting with President Bush 41, a lot of people are shaving their heads to be sympathetic to other people that are going through chemo. A lot of big stars are doing it, and they're doing it in reverse because a lot of celebrities have gotten, unfortunately, have had to get chemo, and people are shaving their heads. Here's my question to you. Do you think I have the head for it?
I think you look great with a shaved head.
Well, why do you want to do it?
I'll tell you.
In support of who?
The support of my lovely sister, Celia Bonaduce. Came down with a nasty case of the cancer. Going to be fine. And to be honest with you, she's going to be so fine. It's like, I don't really have to shave my head. But I wanted to do it. I immediately, knee-jerk reaction was I said I would do it. So I think we came up with 9 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday.
Yeah, we got to do it on the air, of course.
So you're going to go through with this, shaving your head in support of your sister who has lost her hair due to cancer treatment.
That is well said, young lady. That's exactly what is going to happen. So right here, Wednesday morning, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I got to gather up some supplies. So if you're up for it, we'll do it on Wednesday.
All right. Well, I don't have to do much but tough it out and do it.
Well, somebody's got to shave your head. Are we using a straight razor?
I'm thinking no. And by the way, I don't care who they sleep with. It can be a straight razor. I don't know, whatever. But no, I think clippers, and I think Amy, my lovely bride.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
I wanted to have it to be you who would do it.
You don't trust me?
No, I do trust you, but I don't think both of us can be off the microphone at once playing around with clippers and stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think we'll use my lovely and talented wife. So 9 o'clock Wednesday morning, right here, sympathetic bald Bonaduce. Makes me crazy. Back to you in the studio.
You're going to look great, man.
You think? I'm freaking out, though.
You got to wear a hat when you go outside. I went outside this weekend with no hat on and was out all day yesterday in the sun, and my head is super burnt. So you got to wear, I might even peel a little bit. You got to wear a hat when you're out in the sun, but you're going to look great with a shaved head.
You think really? You're
not
just being
like
nice?
No.
You think I'm going to like it?
I think you're going to like it when I keep it
But
around.
it is also a trend. What you're doing is a nice trend.
Right.
But the trend of shaving your head is...
As a fashion choice.
There's
both sides of it. Yeah, certainly doing it for support of another, but also some people just like the way it looks.
Right.
I'm going to be bald as baby Jesus. That's the way I look.
Or Bruce Willis.
9 o'clock, or Bruce Willis, or Michael Jordan, or I don't know, a bunch of other guys.
Yep,
Paul,
yep,
Yul Brenner, I love
Mr.
that
Clean,
guy. All dead. That's what they called me when I was born.
Oh, yeah.
I had no hair and looked mad about stuff.
Well, you guys listening, what is a current trend that you love? That's the question we're posing at 800-252-1025. Let's talk to David in Lake Stevens.
Hi, David.
Good morning.
What's up?
I really like the fact that all these microbrews are up and around. There's nothing but good tasting beer surrounding the area, and I'm sure Sarah with her beer blog has found that to be true also.
So true. There is just this never-ending supply of great beer.
I was at a some bar/restaurant in Thousand Oaks, California, which I always thought of as nowhere. Those days are over. It's officially somewhere. And they sat down and they proudly had 72 taps.
Holy
and they all
smokes.
had the name of the beers engraved on them. Yeah. And 10 of them were zip codes that where the beer was made. And I thought it was really cool. But 72 taps.
Yeah, it's amazing. You just think it's going to run out. It doesn't. It's a great trend. What is a current trend that you love? 800-252-1025 or text your answer to 90627. Paul, what is it for you?
For me, I love everything being on demand, like especially, television, the way with these streaming services, the way they put out new shows now. They'll put out the entire season all at the same time.
Yep.
So Amazon Prime right now is putting out all their new shows. And so every week you'll get 8 or 10 episodes, whatever the run is, of a new show, and you can just watch the entire season right then. You
That's
can binge
super cool.
on it instead of having to wait, stretch it out over the course of a few months. You can watch everything right now because that's what I got to have. Right now, I want it.
Well, and it used to have to be to wait a week.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to wait an entire week to find out what happens next? Not in Paul's world.
No, and you can binge the whole thing. There's one, I don't know if you would call this a trend that affects us right around here, but I like it, and I've read about it several times recently, that in a lot of parts of America, especially in rural communities, they're raising the speed limit to 80.
Mm.
Oh,
80's a thing, man. It's almost worth going to Montana. Almost.
I know this might sound kind of hokey, but a current trend I love is farm to table.
Yeah.
When you go to a restaurant and
Sure.
you know where everything has come from, or the desire not to waste things. So
Right.
whether it's a part of an animal or
Snoot soup.
yeah, it's some kind of soups, like, oh, don't waste your chicken tops. You can, or not chicken tops, carrot tops. You can do this with
Right.
them.
But
Yeah.
also the rooster comb, I believe they call it, the top of the rooster's
Yep.
head. There are a lot of restaurants serving that now. A lot of them in the Mexican restaurants in the Menudo are now selling what's called a cockscomb.
Oh, wow.
I'd eat that in a minute.
And Tori, I mean, I know there's so many you must love, but is one of them for you records making such a big comeback?
Oh, well, that's one of them for sure. It's kind of a cult thing, and it's cool that people are appreciating it.
Yeah.
But another one, I love social media apps. I love Instagram. I just love that it can connect you to people who like the things that you like.
Mm-hmm.
Like you put a hashtag out like Peter Gabriel or hedgehogs, and you'll find everybody in the world who loves that, like me.
Yeah.
Is there anyone who loves Peter Gabriel's hedgehogs?
Oh, God, I didn't know he had a hedgehog.
Oh, yeah. You don't know him as well as you thought.
I do like it, although some of it gives me pause for Tori, to be honest. You know, how many people out there, she's a young lady, on the radio, we talk about how attractive she is and stuff, and now there's people, all they got to do is, I'm going to put them that I like the same stuff Tori likes. I think, don't you have to watch that?
It's creepy. I will say there's times like people have stopped and said, oh, I remember you from Instagram or you're Vinyl Victoria or whatever. And that's a little weird, but it's also kind of cool.
It's cool. That part's cool.
Yeah.
It's when they want to love you a long time that makes me a little bit
Exactly. Check my inbox.
Yeah.
We've got some great text into 90627. Madeline in Seattle says she loves kombucha and loves that is making a big trend right now.
Okay, I almost swore. So flipping trendy.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. It is so expensive. I've never laid lips on it. I've never tried it.
Me either, because I've been told at least once there's alcohol in
Yes.
it. And then
yeah.
my eyes blow up.
It is fermented, yeah.
Paul,
It's
have you tried
disgusting.
it? It's disgusting.
It's
Tori?
gross. It's really gross.
Have you tried it?
Yeah, I'm not a fan. But Madeline is. And then a lot of people
taste like
are.
vinegar?
Yeah, it's really sour. I don't like it.
Oh, I got something called drinking vinegar the other day.
Oh, I love that. Pock makes a great drinking vinegar.
Yeah.
Turmeric.
Another
I'm
text.
sorry, Pock.
Another text says the trend they love is that you can talk to everything, talk to your remote, talk to your smart speakers.
Yeah, that's great.
Except that Danny just told their Google to play KZOK, and it stopped the directions that they had. And they're trying to get to an important business meeting, and now they have no idea where they are. They missed their turn because it stopped.
What's that person's name?
They didn't leave a name. Just texted
bummer,
me.
because I was going to tell him, okay, Google, get back to directions.
And top trend of 2018 is hashtag Dumb Sarah. Of course.
There you go, of course.
Everybody loves that
Why
trend.
not?
Derek, what is a current trend you love?
Cardi B. She's like the hottest female rapper on the planet right now.
true.
Our sister station, KUBE, has like 4 different songs that they play from her. So every time I hear one come on, I just like crank it up and start loving it.
Way to show loyalty to KZOK, man.
Seriously.
Well, I mean, of course, like when I'm not listening
whatever.
to KZOK, which is
Derek-
99% of the
First of
time.
the time. I do the
Derek,
same thing, though.
I think she bought her baby a Bentley this morning.
Sweet.
Do you know what's crazy? That baby's in her belly.
Well,
Oh, wow.
you should name it Airbag. Kind of weird of you.
Thanks for your calls and texts. And if you missed it, Danny's going to shave his head at 9 o'clock on Wednesday because that's the trend he loves.
I wish we could do it today, but so that you don't like back down. Because I know.
Don't just throw it out there like wacky Danny's on there. Coming up, he's going to shave his head. My sister has
Wait,
her
I
own.
have to say it like that?
No, you don't want to say it
Oh.
like that. 'Cause it makes
Because
it,
Dan's Bonaduce go shave his head
actually, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I like
definitely
it.
say
for
that.
his sister
No, she hates you.
who's got the cancer.
You said a touch of the
The
cancer.
touch of the cancer. Just a shade of the cancer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, join us then. Police are investigating a stabbing that happened in Pioneer Square a few hours ago. They said they are not revealing any suspect information yet, but there is a victim from this early morning stabbing with life-threatening injuries. This took place around 6 a.m. on 1st and Yesler, and the investigation is ongoing. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention report an outbreak of norovirus on a cruise in Alaska that left from Seattle.
Oh.
More than 73 people have been reported getting sick on the Holland America cruise ship MS Zaandam, which left back on the 17th for a 16-night cruise to Alaska and back. Now, this is a ship that has more than 2,000 passengers and crew. They were just in Juneau. We're supposed to make some more stops, but of course they got to keep an eye on this because sometimes it gets out of control.
Right. Well, I would think any of this. Is that the same thing as what was it, Legionnaire's disease that started on a boat?
Those are two different diseases. Legionnaire's does lead to throwing up, but norovirus is
really bad food poisoning.
Yes.
The worst.
Oh, okay. So they got it from the kitchen.
No, it's usually from somebody who didn't wash their hands, and oftentimes it's passengers. So you say you go to the buffet and you haven't been sanitary.
Right.
And you pick up that fork and put a deviled egg on your plate. And then the person behind you picks up the fork.
Oh, yeah.
Or that person has norovirus and they are then spreading it to other people.
All right.
Now, when you're on a cruise, they tell you if you are experiencing bad belly, do not leave your room and notify somebody immediately. They try to stanch it immediately.
You don't want to do that, though. You want to enjoy yourself,
Yeah.
make something out of
That's
your
the
vacation.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right
Last
there on
summer-
this cruise ship, the Jean-Claude Van Damme or whatever you call the,
Yeah.
the ship.
The
You want
la-
to have a good time.
But
the
if you
last time the
go-
cruise went this bad, that was what was the name of that boat? Oh, yeah, the Titanic.
Yeah.
If you go to the commissary, if you go to the little store and buy Imodium or Pepto-Bismol, they report you. They'll
Really?
show up. Yes, they will show up at your room and say you can't come out.
Oh, I don't believe that for a minute.
They are so.
I don't believe that if I go
Careful.
buy Pepto-Bismol, some crazy people in long dark coats come by. What are you, from the Matrix? What are you doing in
Yes.
my room?
John Wick shows up at your door.
I don't believe it.
The Pepto actually has a tracking chip on it.
You know, once you swallow it, they know exactly where you are.
Also in some local news, sad story. A man has died after being hit by a train in Shoreline. This happened yesterday afternoon. Shoreline Fire says this man was in his 40s. This happened at 4:30 in the afternoon near the Highlands. The man died at the scene. He was on the tracks, dancing around.
What are you looking at me for?
Wearing headphones.
I
Yeah.
was not wearing headphones when I did this.
You're wearing headphones right now.
I am, but am I on the tracks? Make a decision.
This was the 8th death on the tracks so far this year.
Wow,
you gotta stop doing
I gotta
it,
tell you,
Danny.
when I was out there, and the reason we're bringing this up is because people around here are weird. I took a walk down the railroad tracks because they're right next to our job. I see them every day. And I wonder what's going on there. I took a little walk, but while I was there, I turned around a lot and thought, this is, even without headphones, this is unnerving. The trains go fast.
It can be dangerous.
Yeah. Well, thank God I'm alive, Paul.
Yeah, that's what we say every day.
I'll bet you do.
2 people have died in as many weeks in the same spot in California's Sequoia National Park.
Wow.
They say swift and dangerous currents on the Kauai River has most recently claimed the life of a 22-year-old man who leapt in to save a 5-year-old boy who had slipped into the rapids. The boy was pulled out. The man did not survive.
Wow. At least he died a hero. Not worth it to me, by the way.
No?
No.
So in your fantasy scenario where you deliver a baby from a burning
Well,
building?
I'll jump into the river to save that baby.
Yeah.
But
you won't do it if you think there's risk of death?
no, there has to be risk of death, or it doesn't count. I just can't actually die from the risk of death.
All right. How do you know that before jumping in?
You know, you just jump in, Paul. When you're born to be a hero,
Yeah.
you deliver that baby, you rescue those hostages, and you jump in the river.
All right.
Well, and I guess a lot of times it's instinct. You see a child fall in the water, maybe your instinct is to jump in. It wasn't his kid.
Wow.
Which kind of surprised me. I'm not sure that my knee-jerk reaction would be to jump in to save a
And
stranger's
he didn't
child.
get the kid,
No.
obviously, or
No,
he'd have
he
rescued
didn't.
it.
So someone else pulled the kid out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Someone else pulled the kid out. They were able to give him CPR, and he survived. The man who risked his life did not make it. Like, swoosh, he was gone in the fast current, gone out of anyone else's reach.
I did an after-school special up there, and I cannot for the life of me remember what it was, although it was completely racist. It wasn't racist on the tag. Yeah, we grabbed another guy's. We were the bad kids. He was the good kid. And we tied him to like some kind of fence pole and then ran around going, woo, 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 like Indians.
Oh,
That was in the script, man. It said like, yeah. But, you know, it was also 40 years ago, so who knows. But anyway, we lost a cameraman up there on the Kern River.
Seriously?
Oh,
Yeah. And they went and got this cool old guy, dude. And he said, what do you eat? How old is he? And I don't know if this was real or he just knew what was going to happen. What did he eat? What was he wearing? What did he have for lunch? He goes, oh, yeah, you'll find about 2.2 miles down over there on the banks. And that's where the guy was.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
How about a nice story in the news?
Love that.
Well, it does involve a car crash, but
A medium nice story.
Firefighters from a district made an unexpected delivery over the weekend. Engine 642 responded to a motor vehicle crash. It involved two vehicles. One of those vehicles was a pizza delivery man.
No.
They said, well, the pizza's still intact. This car's not running. Let's deliver it ourselves.
Oh, this is a trend. Speaking of trends we love, this is a trend. Yeah, cops or firefighters or whoever finishing the pizza guy's job if he's in a wreck.
I remember hearing it once before. Does that make it a trend?
Yeah, I think
no, it's
that's two in a row, Sarah.
This is true. Well, in this case, they realized that whoever ordered the pizza wasn't going to get it. This kid was probably stressed out enough as it is. And they didn't want the pizza to go to waste. So they decided, well, let's go. They loaded up the fire truck.
Can I just say, Paul and I have already eaten that pizza
absolutely.
twice and said, sorry, bummer to the guy that's waiting on it.
Yeah, in fact, before I get out the jaws of life, I'm having a slice.
I'm actually going to feed a slice to the jaws of life.
Well, when they delivered the pizza, the firefighters said, thank you for ordering out and not risking the chance of burning food or setting off any fire alarms.
Oh, nice. They get a tip?
Oh, I don't think so.
Can't do it.
You probably can't accept a tip.
Can't. Just the tip.
Not the tip. Just the tip. Can't accept the tip.
Words.
And hard to believe it wasn't Florida news.
Yeah.
A woman is recovering after she crashed her car into a gas station at speeds of more than 100 miles per hour.
Wow.
There is some video caught on camera, this whole...
Crazy video.
Oh, you did see it?
Yeah, I did see it. She hit something, and that something was not a ramp, but it did everything that a ramp would do in that it launched her car up into the air. It did like a spin move.
Like Dukes of Hazzard.
It was
type,
crazy.
Or a bullet. And this woman, they said, did hit something. This car leaves the road, it goes airborne, and then slams into a brick sign, and then rams into gas pumps. And then things did not end well there. Papow. Now, the undersheriff says, I'm being told
that's one way out of the ticket. Get under the sheriff.
She works in the food industry, the food service industry, admits to having a couple of drinks after her shift. And they said she overcorrected trying to avoid the crash, but because she was going over 100, that's why she went airborne.
Right.
They said amazingly she was able to walk away, but right into handcuffs.
Wow, that is amazing. And hitting a gas tank, too.
Right.
I think it's going to blow her up.
Terrible story out of Florida. Aren't they all? But this one's especially terrible. A Palm Bay man is facing charges after investigators say he dressed as Elvis and tried to meet an underage girl for sex.
Well, you can't do that.
No.
Underage girls they want to have sex with Elvis. I mean, I can't imagine any age that being a thing now. Like, I want to have sex with somebody dressed as Elvis.
Are you crazy?
Really?
Go see some of the impersonators in Vegas or even here at some of the casinos. They're like superstars.
Yeah?
They're crazy.
I'm confused about Paul's question. You said, how would a 13-year-old girl want to have adult...
I did not say that at all. I don't remember saying anything
What
about
did you say?
13-year-old girls.
I know what you said, yet I'm going to stay out of it so I can see if this gets funny.
Okay.
No, but,
I said, why would anyone of any age want to have sex with
Okay.
someone who looks like Elvis?
but it was his fantasy. There was no real person who wanted to have relations with Elvis.
So, but how would he even buy into it that someone out there wanted to have sex with him as Elvis?
Because it's Florida.
Oh,
so
Florida.
nobody wanted to. In your question, a 13, 18, 40, 60,
Right.
nobody wants to
mostly
have
18 and up is my question.
adult relations.
Because it's adult relations.
Yeah.
That's why it's called that.
Yeah.
He wanted to wear his Elvis costume.
Okay, I get that. Who doesn't want to wear their Elvis
I wore
costume?
my Elvis costume and jumped out of a plane. There's something about a great experience becoming better because you're dressed as the king.
Well, this man obviously was not talking to a 13-year-old. He was talking to
Chris Hansen with the
Olivia
sweet tea.
Benson.
Olivia Benson.
SVU. They set up this whole thing, and then he shows up wearing his Elvis outfit, and he's got a whole bag of tricks, like creepy stuff in his bag.
They say Elvis will leave the building in 9 years.
What's in his bag? He's got like a guitar.
No, he had
I don't think we want
toys
to know. Oh, okay.
for not children toys. Anyway, Elvis is in a different building, and that would be the Pokey.
Yeah.
The big house. A strange story out of Paraguay. A 20-year-old man, he goes missing. Now, this isn't a part of Paraguay that borders Brazil. There's a lot of drug trafficking, gangs, people getting killed, people getting lit on fire. It's a bad part of town. He goes
They light
missing.
you on fire? That is a bad part of town.
Yeah.
And this 20-year-old man is gone for 3 days. They think the worst because of where they live.
Yeah.
Well, according to the cops, they said, is anyone missing someone? Because we've got a burnt body. So they go and they said, well, this is burnt beyond belief, but it's the right height. He's been gone for 3 days.
This is burnt. Take it back.
They said, okay, it's time to bury him. We're super sad. Juan's gone. So there they are, having a wake. Who walks in the door?
Guessing Juan. Yeah.
Juan.
Yeah.
They're having the wake. Everybody's crying. Juan's gone.
Yeah, they better be awake.
Juan walks into the house as the wake happens.
What are you guys doing?
What are you guys doing? There's a casket.
Yeah.
There's the body in the casket. He's like, who's that? Like, Juan,
Listen.
that's you. He has not told them
No,
yet.
they didn't tell Juan that was him.
Who knows what they might say? They're in Paraguay or something. Uruguay.
Paraguay.
They're in something that gways.
Yes.
He has not told them where he was for those 3 days.
Wow. The dangerous part of the world. I just bought Newsweek magazine for the flight to have something to read, and the cover of it is MS-13, the gang.
Oh,
stepping.
scary.
They're big in El Salvador where people are fleeing them.
Yeah.
They started here.
Oh, really?
Not in El Salvador. They just kept getting deported.
And do they all have those crazy facial tattoos?
Not all of them, because they're yelling about that. Like, hey, might want to stop doing that. The cops know it's us.
Yeah, it seems like a bad move. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to. We watched that movie Sicario.
Yeah.
And they're trying to sneak across the border. And it's like, you guys kind of stick out with
Well,
your face tattoos.
You know what? They sometimes, and I don't know that this is what they're going for, they look like an Instagram show. What's the one where you can change yourself into a pony or whatever you want?
They have that on Instagram,
Okay,
and
they
Facebook
do
has
that.
it now.
They
too.
look like puppies. These guys, they got the little black tip on the end of their nose, and
Yeah.
turns out the cute ears are actually horns because they're going for the devil, but it's
Yeah.
not working.
They are taking over our jails in
Yeah.
America.
Oh, yeah.
They're a pretty scary group of people. So maybe that's who he was with. But Juan's not dead. Security cameras outside of a Pennsylvania home were rolling when an attempted truck thief was foiled by his inability to make a 3-point turn.
Gotta do it.
The Ben Salem Police Department posted the video to YouTube showing the man attempting to steal a pickup truck. It had been left unlocked in the driveway with the keys inside. So he gets in and attempts to make a 3-point turn because there's another car in the driveway. He keeps hitting the other vehicle over and over and over, gets so frustrated he can't do a 3-point turn, he flees.
Wow. Well, you told me that's a thing. I wondered why everybody backed into their parking spaces down here. And the answer is that when everybody fills up the parking spots, you got to do like a 5-point turn to get out of your spot.
Oh, yeah.
And I am now in the spot where you told me that would happen. It's going to take me an hour to get out of here later, in between those two pillars.
Even with the cameras and everything, it doesn't matter. Those
No.
spots are too tight.
By the way, during our last story where Juan was possibly dead or not dead,
Yes.
people were texting in their best Juan jokes.
Yeah.
Oh, let's hear.
Here are my favorites. Juan direction. I'm not sure. This one's actually pretty good. Clearly, it takes Juan to know Juan.
That's super funny. And by the way, do they deduct money from our paycheck that we didn't say any of those?
Yeah, I
'Cause
think
those are good.
They probably should.
They
yeah.
should.
Windex and floor wax will be taking over for us tomorrow.
Yeah, take my
Hey,
money.
Sarah Paul, gone.
$1 at a time. That's all I had. Shut up.
Nope.
The good ones were taken.
A 30-foot guitar installed outside the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey, is embarrassed this morning. They installed the sign on the corner of Route 30 and Virginia Avenue all about a Gibson Les Paul guitar. So it's a huge version of that. So like a big billboard type of thing. And it's got a rhythm and treble pickup selector switch.
Yeah.
With the word rhythm. Only nobody bothered to spell check. Rhythm is spelled with an E. It is not spelled with an E.
No.
Oh, okay, good.
There is no E in rhythm.
No, there's Y, right?
There's a Y.
Yeah.
And then there's no other vowels.
R-Y.
THM.
Yeah.
R-H.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, question. Like why? I wasn't spelling it wrong.
Or why did they spell it that way?
Yeah, that's what I was
They
doing.
wanted to spell it right.
You had a chance of greatness, young lady.
That's a oddly spelled word, though.
It is.
It is.
So, I mean, I wouldn't just throw an E in there just because. It's a pain.
No, and I
Sure.
would never throw a Y in there no matter what.
But if KZOK is putting up a billboard and it says the Danny Bonaduce and Sarah Morning Show,
Yeah.
would they spell morning wrong?
Okay, first of all, if they put up a billboard for us, one of our bosses has died.
Didn't somebody put up a billboard for you, Danny, and spell your name wrong?
No, it was a plane where you pull a thing. Congratulations to Jamie and Danny, number 1. And Danny was Danni.
Oh, wow.
Or maybe Dani, but it was definitely wrong.
Police in India say a rat was to blame for destroying about $200,000 worth of currency inside an ATM.
Ooh.
They said it was on the outskirts of town, wasn't a great area. Rats got inside and had a feast.
Yeah, and how much money did you say it was?
$200,000.
I'll bet you they were building a nest or something like that, because it can't be yummy.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't think they would eat that
they're probably
much.
building a nest. That's weird.
Maybe they make it with curry. Might be delicious. No?
No, I don't think so.
No.
You did make me snort. I'm pretty sure I snorted at you, not with you.
Well, different countries are using different ingredients for their
Money?
their currency. I think in England they're starting to use
see, she was saying
plastic.
it's currency. Text away, you guys.
I want to be funny.
We won that from you as well.
And Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah?
His autopsy, toxicology report is finished.
Curry? Was it curry in his system?
No drugs.
Right.
No drugs.
They said the only thing he had was a non-narcotic medicine in a therapeutic dose. They did not say exactly what that was, but
Lithium.
non-narcotic. What?
Lithium.
You think, yeah?
Is lithium non-narcotic?
Yeah, it's not narcotic.
It could have been. Whatever it was a therapeutic dose. That word almost makes me wonder if it was Advil or something. I have no idea what non-therapeutic doses of anything could mean.
It's not taking enough of it to have its wanted, desired effect.
Oh, okay.
Well, and it made it seem, too, that it was, if it was prescription, he had one, or it was a non-prescription, but no drugs.
Wow.
So some people had wondered if he had had a relapse.
I don't wonder about the relapse or anything like that. I just wonder why. If it's I went back on drugs and it killed me, fine. I feel like I have a right to know, actually.
Why
I
did
watched
Chris
this guy's whole
Cornell
life.
die? Why did Chester Bennington? Why did Kate Spade?
Didn't anybody leave a note?
Kate Spade left a note that said, tell your dad ask your dad, it's not your fault.
Well,
That's
so
not
now we
an
know it's
answer.
not the kid's fault. We can rule one thing out.
But I mean, we always wonder that, especially with somebody that we connected with, somebody who's in the public eye,
Yeah.
that like meant a lot to us, or we felt a connection. We definitely wonder that.
Yep. How about a good news in the news?
Please.
Go elsewhere. Krispy Kreme is celebrating the beginning of summer by turning classic summer desserts into your next fried weakness.
Oh, like strawberry shortcake donut?
Yes.
Okay, I want one.
Gosh, you're so smart. Well, you're close. It's strawberries and cream.
Yum.
And it is a strawberry donut packed with strawberry filling and then the famous cream filling that Krispy Kreme is known for.
Yeah.
And then it's topped with strawberry icing and a decorative swirl. They also have the banana pudding donut.
Yum.
Yum.
Which sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
The donut has banana custard blended with the cream, dipped in an icing, and then topped with Nilla wafer pieces.
Wow. And when did these come out? Can we go get them right now?
Today.
Awesome.
Yep. I actually was down there. I should have gone in.
No, that's actually all the time we have for the show today. We'll be seeing you guys after we get some Krispy Kreme.
I went to Paseo yesterday, who make just the best sandwiches, Caribbean sandwiches.
Yeah.
And they have a location in Soto right across from Krispy Kreme. Didn't even occur
What
to
a
me.
good day out.
Yeah,
Right?
seriously.
Look at all of that stuff. But the
Right.
banana pudding, I'm on my way.
Yeah.
So those are officially in stores today, along with the Freedom Ring donut, which features classic original glazed donut with American flag designs.
Yeah.
So available
Okay.
today. It's for summer.
Yeah.
America.
America.
Yeah.
America.
Music news, entertainment, and sports are next, so please don't go anywhere.
This traffic report is brought to you by Taco Bell. In Seattle on I-90 westbound as you approach Rainier Avenue.
Some good news for the Dave Matthews Band in music news. Their new album, Come Tomorrow, Numero Uno on the U.S. albums chart.
Wow.
That is number 1 for those of you who are.
I was confused, I'll be honest. I thought you said new metal or no. And I thought, it's Dave Matthews. It's probably not new metal.
I want to hear Dave Matthews' new metal so
perfect.
bad.
Me too.
He's the guy who's meant for it.
Crash into me, yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Why does metal sound like that?
I don't know, because he
New
did it all
metal.
for the nookie.
All right.
Yeah, that's not metal. It's new metal.
Yeah.
With a U and umlauts.
Yes, with the U and umlauts.
All right.
It's marching, yeah.
You just
Dave
have
Matthews.
to keep going.
New metal
New
or
metal.
no?
Or no.
That's the game we're going to play if we ever have Dave Matthews tickets.
Oh, I hope we do. Well, Dave Matthews Band new album called Come Tomorrow is number 1 on the U.S. albums chart.
Why wait?
Makes way more sense. I got it.
Something called Kids See Ghosts is at number 2, followed by Dierks Bentley, Post Malone, and Kanye.
All right.
Sad news from the music world. Michael Jackson's father and former manager Joe Jackson is reportedly suffering from terminal cancer. The Jackson family patriarch has been suffering from an illness for a long time. Jermaine says he is very frail and does not have long. He's 89.
He's got such a nasty scowl on his face.
Yeah.
Joe Jackson. He looks mad all the time.
Yeah.
No surprise at the box office over the weekend. It was all about the dinosaurs. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom actually surpassed expectations to open with an estimated... What? Paul, why are you growling?
Because I hate Chris Pratt.
Oh, I forgot.
As well as you should have a guy, and we only have you to believe that you ever defeated the great Christopher Pratt.
Yeah,
in
I mean,
wrestling.
you can check the records. You can go to Lake Stevens High School and pull out the record book.
Do I have to actually go there? It's a computer age, Paul. I should be able to look something up.
No,
But
you have to go.
No matter how you look at it,
Yeah.
and let's just say you actually won.
I did, yeah, we will say that.
All right, let's say that. I will say that his work after that is pretty excessive. He's like a little bit of a cool guy.
Yeah, the how lousy he was at wrestling when we wrestled. Not that he was terrible when he wrestled others, but
I mean, did other people wrestle him?
how bad I beat him.
Yeah,
other
no, you
people-
killed
it's
him.
just the two of them all the time.
Doesn't diminish.
That's not wrestling. That's a romance.
That doesn't diminish his entire career.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
But it does upset me to see him successful.
Lake Stevens treasure Chris Pratt.
Hey.
What,
If
did you want to
anybody's-
be the treasure?
No, I guess I would probably have to have been from there or actually gone there more than
Right.
once in my life.
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom surpassed expectations. $150 million in ticket sales over the weekend. It did not do as well as the 2015 Jurassic reboot.
Yeah,
but still
take that.
did
You
very
didn't do as well as the 2015 Jurassic
Wasn't he
reboot.
in that too?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Okay, there's a small hole in my theory.
There's no take that.
Incredibles 2 at number 2.
Sorry.
And Ocean's 8 crossing the $100 million domestic in its third week, bringing in another $11 million. So that movie's done pretty well, going over $100 million.
Yeah, absolutely.
And let's see, Tag and Deadpool 2 rounding out the top 5.
And Tag did okay?
Yeah.
I rooted
right.
for that movie.
Yeah.
Deadpool 2 is still in theaters, like wide release. That's amazing.
It's only been 3 or 4 weeks.
I feel like it's been more than that.
Yeah.
I guess I'm wrong.
I don't know.
Jeffrey Tambor, who in recent months has been accused of harassment and difficulty in the workplace, has now been replaced as a voice talent in the upcoming animated film Wonder Park. He has been replaced by a guy named Ken Hudson Campbell, who worked in Armageddon, Groundhog Day, and Home Alone. And let's see, they said, what is this movie coming out on March 15th of next year? Also stars Jennifer Garner, Mila Kunis, John Oliver, Ken Jeong, and Matthew Broderick.
All right.
No March 15th.
So did they hire him before the allegations or after?
Before.
Okay. So yeah, I guess they have their right to replace him.
Bad news for fans of the TV show Timeless. And no, this is not a repeat story. For the second consecutive year, NBC has canceled the time travel series. What stinks about this, season 2 ended in a massive cliffhanger.
Well, they can't do that.
It's so annoying. What they say they're trying to do, if they can't find someone to pick it up, like Amazon or Netflix or Hulu or Yahoo or
Whoever.
Apple, they are hoping to make a finale movie. So a TV movie to run
okay.
to give people.
Is this the one, the chick with all the tattoos?
No, that's mind something.
Okay.
This is time travel, and it's a very smarty pants
And
woman.
they change the past to make things current, right?
The bad guys go in the past to try to change the future to their benefit. Like they didn't want to kill JFK, and then they tried to not blow up the Hindenburg.
Oh.
But sometimes those things that seem good would mean bad things for the
It's
future.
a weird premise for a television series. No, we have to kill JFK.
Okay, here's a better example. They tried not to kill Hitler.
Right.
So to keep Hitler in office. Yeah, so the bad guys are doing that, and then the good guys with no tattoos are going to stop them.
All right.
It's a pretty good show. Child's Play creator Don Mancini has hinted on Twitter that homicidal doll Chucky may return in a television series.
Generally, I agree with you, Danny, that she's not funny. But that was pretty funny.
Because I, for one, have never heard it.
No,
never.
I'm sure.
That's new to me.
I remember seeing Child's Play and being terrified.
Right.
I thought that movie was absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
But then they came out with like the second, the third, and the fourth, and they weren't that scary anymore.
I watch a show called Copycat Killers.
Yep.
And it's not like one of my favorites, but when I see it, I see what did they copycat.
Okay.
And one that was Chucky. And boy, it was chicks. And they were so, like the fact that they ended up killing somebody, that's like the least of how bad they were.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it was terrible.
Well, in this case, believe it or not, Chucky has been featured in 7 movies dating back to 1988, including The Cult of Chucky, which starred Jennifer Tilly. But they said this time around it would be Child's Play, the TV series.
Oh.
So he sent out a tweet suggesting that would be the case. And a little fun fact about Chucky, the creator, his father has provided the voice of Chucky in all the movies.
Wow, that's super interesting.
Yeah.
Cute.
What did he say? He said something. In my head, it's Shall We Play a Game? But that's the Matthew Broderick movie. Did he say something?
Yeah, I cannot recall what Chucky said.
Because in the
Play no.
No, I'm positive that's
I'm
not.
back. Nope, that was somebody else, right?
What is wrong with you two?
I am your father.
All right, that's it.
Yippee-o-ki-yay, mother father.
If you build it, they will come. It's one of those.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those.
I see dead people. Never mind.
That's what it was.
MTV has launched a new production unit called MTV Studios, and with it, they are bringing back some of their old shows, including Daria. They said they'll also be...
Oh, I had that once, but I took Pepto-Bismol.
And they tracked you all over the ship.
Over the ship, right.
They're also thinking about doing the sci-fi animated series Aeon Flux and a couple of new shows as well, but perhaps some stuff that was similar to The Hills. So MTV trying to be relevant again, in a nutshell.
They don't play any music videos, do they?
I don't
It's
think
just
so.
all TV shows.
They
now?
tried to bring back TRL, but I don't think that went well.
They did.
Yeah.
They tried bringing it. Didn't. Yeah,
I
it
think
did
they
not.
canceled it already. And Dennis Quaid is set to take on a new role of Ronald Reagan in the biopic of the president.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Good, because I love that guy.
I can kind of see it, though. I mean, they'd have to put a lot of makeup
A
on
lot of
him.
makeup.
So this is a film called Reagan, and will explore his life from boyhood through presidency of both the United States and the Screen Actors Guild, his time as governor, the attempted assassination, the fall of the Berlin Wall. Like, you kind of forget quite how much there is to deal with.
But don't forget the Iranian hostages.
Yeah.
The day he was elected and sworn into office, they said, it's been 444 days. Let's get rid of these guys and let them go.
Now, most recently, he was in the series Fortitude. He was in the Christian movie I Can Only Imagine. He has a sci-fi movie coming out in this end of the summer called Kin, which I have no idea what that is, but then he'll be Ronald Reagan.
Cool.
Let's take a look at sports.
Sports
Brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUIOA, 1-800-DUIOA. It's been a bit of a rough road trip for the Mariners with a loss on Friday, win on Saturday, but a shutout yesterday. They were shut out by the Sox 5-0. Now, today, they will turn things around.
Turn it around.
Playing the Orioles, first pitch 4:05 in Baltimore.
And I have it from a reliable source. They're terrible.
Yeah, the Baltimore Orioles. My
You don't have to
understanding is
agree,
they have,
Paul. You're my reliable source.
well, I wanted to tell people about
All
it.
right.
They have the worst record in baseball right now, so let's whoop on them.
We're going to whoop on them. Felix Hernandez versus Andrew Kashner. Over the weekend, I went to San Francisco for the first time, not to the city for the first time, but for the first time to AT&T Park.
Neat.
Oh, cool.
Really beautiful ballpark. Beautiful day in San Francisco.
No, let me see. A lot of grass, a couple of white lines through it, and a whole bunch of chairs.
Do you know what's different
I've seen it
about AT&T Park is that it's literally right on the water. So they've got this whole huge waterway. It's got a name that I just forgot.
That's cool.
And people go out there in their kayaks or on those floating tricycles and try to catch home run balls.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So it's a super iconic park, beautiful time. But yesterday, the Padres were playing the San Francisco Giants, and they all left the hotel and were waiting out front for the bus to pick them up. You know, you've got a team bus. It comes to pick you up. It takes you to the stadium. The bus never showed up. So, faced with a transportation crisis, and they couldn't put everybody in an Uber, they got one of those double-decker tour buses to pick them up.
Oh, that's neat.
And the team was really good-hearted about it, and they said they got a police escort because it was Pride Parade Day yesterday as well. And they said people were cheering for them and stuff, which was nice because they're the away team.
Oh, I would take away my shirt. I'd take my shirt off and wave like crazy in the Pride.
Me too.
Why wouldn't you? Yeah. You should have seen Tori she was a nasty nurse is what Tori was when we went riding in the Pride Parade. Yeah.
Philadelphia, the story is not as sweet. A huge fan of the Phillies, Kathy McVeigh, was in the stands during a game. You know how they always throw stuff out, whether it's a ball for the kids or they have a cannon that shoots out T-shirts.
Right.
Well, in Philadelphia, they have a hot dog-shaped cannon, and they were blasting out hot dogs. Well, she took a wiener to the face. Black eye. She says her glasses went flying off. That wiener hit her with full force, she said.
Black eye.
That's what you said things a little differently. But he put a little more emphasis there on saying
eye.
Yeah.
She got messed up, this poor lady. She said that flying wiener just came down like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
She said, at least it's funny. I'll have a story to tell.
Yeah, well, you have a good story.
Yeah.
She was an older lady. She said that the team has apologized and offered her tickets. And she said, okay, but nosebleeds, please.
That's very funny.
Good sport.
She took a wiener to the face. Got a black eye.
The Sounders versus Chicago ended in a 1-1 tie yesterday. They play Portland next Saturday. Match time is 1:30. And let's see, the Storm defeated Dallas 97-76.
Totally different story.
Yep.
Sounds nicer when you say it that way.
They were wieners. The Storm and the Lynx tomorrow at 5. World Cup action. Today we have 2 games underway. Derek, are they still underway?
They are finished. So Saudi Arabia beat Egypt 2-1, and Uruguay defeated Russia 3-0. And there was a red card in that game. Surprisingly, not against Luis Suarez from Uruguay, who's notorious for biting people.
Love that guy.
Oh, that guy.
He's a biter?
He's the cannibal. Yeah, I can't even believe they're letting him play. He was kicked out of the World Cup last go around 4 years ago. Yeah, and then kicked off his team that he was on. Yeah, 3 different incidents where he's been removed from a game for biting another player.
Biting's
crazy.
That's crazy.
But it wasn't him, Derek.
It was not. It was a Russian player who got the red card.
Oh,
so
jeez.
Uruguay and Saudi Arabia, both victorious.
All right, thank you. We've got Iran versus Portugal and Spain versus Morocco. Both of those matches are at 11. Let's see. Your sports this morning brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys at 1-800-DUIOA. On tomorrow's show, jam-packed.
Yeah?
Yep, 7:50, I'll hand-deliver a filthy forecast. And at 7:20, your chance to win a pair of John Fogerty tickets, July 19th at Chateau Saint Michel. It is the second date for John Fogerty because the first one sold out, and we've got your tickets by playing Fogerty or...
Fogerty or...
Fogerty or...
Danny's excited. I'm excited for Danny to shave his head.
I'm excited so if you missed it earlier, Danny is going to be supporting his sister who is battling cancer, sadly losing her hair. So you're going to show your support by shaving your head.
And by the way, I said something wrong by accident. I said my sister is losing her hair from cancer. That is not what happens when you get cancer. Your hair does not fall out. You get that from the chemo. Didn't know it. Might have said it wrong. Yeah, my sister has got just a touch of the cancer, but all her hair has fallen out from her. Fallen out now. And I'm going to be shaving my head in sympathy to, be solidarity with my sister who's always been cool to me. 9 o'clock Wednesday morning, right?
Yeah, Wednesday. We'll do it on the air.
All right, then. Yeah. And you know who I also support? With my red card, a wiener to the face.
Beautiful head of hair.
He does have a beautiful. I don't know if you guys have seen Steve Sladen, but he is purdy.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's going to come right in this room and he's going to play a lot of classic rock and roll because that's what he does. We'll get out of his way. Bye.